Hello everybody at the First Central County Ground in Hove. Tom, Lou and Jack the Lad here for More Radio Breakfast. Lou currently in the corner just kitting up ahead of the game.
Ow.
So Jack, what we got going on this summer? Tell everyone.
It's been a busy few months. We've given away thousands of pounds in cold hard cash, giving away amazing family passes to some of the best attractions all across good old Sussex by the sea, and holidays to places like Barbados. I mean Barbados, for goodness sake. And listen, it don't stop there. It's going to be a big, big summer. Have us on every morning right across Sussex, 6 till 10 weekday mornings.
Right, Lou, how are we getting on? Are we all kitted up? Are we ready?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm nearly there. Just wasn't sure about this.
Yeah, that's a mask.
Yeah, just...
Get it right on your face. It smells good in there.
Hello, everybody, at the First Central County Ground in Hove. Tom, Lou, and Jack the Lad here from More Radio Breakfast. Lou currently in the corner, just kitting up ahead of the game.
Ow.
So, Jack, what we got going on this summer? Tell everyone.
It's been a busy few months. We've given away thousands of pounds in cold hard cash, giving away amazing family passes to some of the best attractions all across good old Sussex by the sea, and holidays to places like Barbados. I mean Barbados, for goodness sake. And listen, it don't stop there. It's going to be a big, big summer. Have us on every morning right across Sussex, 6 till 10 weekday mornings.
Right, Lou, how are we getting on? Are we all kitted up? Are we ready?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm nearly there. Just wasn't sure about this.
Yeah, that's a mask.
Yeah, just...
Get it right on your face. It smells good in there.
More of what you love, more radio.
Well, welcome to a very noisy First Central County ground in Hove, where we have in a few minutes' time the Charlotte Edwards Cup group game between the Southern Vipers and the South East Stars, and this is one of a few games in this competition on this final round of group matches. Fortunately for both these sides, they are two of the four sides that have already qualified for finals day at Derby this coming Saturday. Right, let me give you news of the toss. The South East Stars won the toss and have elected to bowl first. There are changes on both sides. I'm Kevin James, and next to me is the Southern Vipers off spinner Charlotte Taylor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Kevin. Good morning, everyone. It's a little bit cloudy here at Hove. Weather is set fine for the day, but I wasn't really expecting this level of cloud, so it might leave a little bit to be discussed about the toss and whether it was a good idea to maybe bowl first and have the South East Stars new bowlers swinging the ball, but that will obviously, well, we'll wait to find out, won't we, if that's going to be true. But yeah, like you say, a few changes for each side, and actually I quite like this fixture because I do feel like they're local rivals in a weird way. Both of the Southern, I mean the clue's in the name, is it South East Stars and Southern Vipers, but they've had good contests between these two sides in the past. Head to head across all 3 years that this has been going since 2021, they've won 2 apiece on the 4 occasions that they've met. So it's a real good contest, I feel, between these two.
It certainly is. They're hard-fought encounters, that's for sure, and expecting the same here this morning. What's the noise all about? Well, I can tell you that they have up to 3,000 school children here today. It's a Sussex Cricket Foundation Schools Day, and various children and schools have been invited from around the county, and it certainly made this ground feel a lot different.
Yeah, it feels full, doesn't it? There's a few blue seats and white seats left, but not many at all, really. And the Mexican waves have started to my right as well, so yeah, the kids are going to love it here all day, and hopefully they get a chance to meet their idols later, which will be great.
That's for sure. So well done to the Sussex Cricket Foundation in organising this one. I'm told that normally it's organised for a men's competition day, but it's been put over for today's game. So just a reminder, South East Stars have won the toss and elected to bowl first. We're on the BBC Sport website and app. We're also on BBC 5 Sports Extra and also on the live picture feed, and that's going out via the Sussex Cricket website. Right, the two teams, 4 changes for the South East Stars from the last time they played the Blaze. Charlotte, do you want to do the honours?
I will. So the 4 changes, I think the reason for that is, just a bit of background, is the last 3 days or 4 days they played 3 games, so a lot of cricket for the South East Stars, so a few changes for them, and they line up like this. Captain Bryony Smith is set to open with Paige Schofield, who comes back in today after being rested in the last game. Tash Farrant down to bat at 3 in her new promoted batting position. Kalia Moore at 4, Alice Davidson-Richards, Emma Jones, Chloe Hill back in to wicketkeep. I assume they're resting Georgia Redmayne, the overseas, or she's picked up a niggle while she's been here, to be confirmed. Maddie Blinkhorn-Jones at 8, a debut, T20 debut for her for the South East Stars. Alexa Stonehouse, Danny Gregory, and the young Tilly Courtine-Coleman.
Now the Vipers, including all their England players, were absolutely thrashed against the Stars on Sunday at Worcester. Again, fortunately, nothing on that game because as well as these two teams, the Sparks had already qualified by then, and the Blaze had also. So going into these last few fixtures, we already know who the 4 teams are that will contest finals day on Saturday. But the Vipers have made 2 changes from Sunday. In come Emily Windsor, the batter and seam bowler Mary Taylor, and resting is Georgia Elwis and England's seam bowler Lauren Bell. So the Vipers will be Danny Wyatt, Maya Bouchier, Charlie Knott, the overseas Australian, Georgia Adams, the captain, Freya Kemp, Charlie Dean, Emily Windsor, Rihanna Southby, the wicket keeper, Mary Taylor, Lindsay Smith, and Freya Davis, formerly of the Stars. And we are underway, or we will be in a moment, and it's going to be Alexa Stonehouse with her left arm medium pacers. She's going to start downhill here at Hove, obviously very popular amongst the school children.
Even though they probably have no idea who she is.
Right, yeah. They've just been told to
Yeah.
shout, and I think we're going to get a lot of this. And they're counting down as well. And she's going to be bowling the first ball to Maya Bouchier, who's not exactly distinguished herself in this competition. so far. More on that in a moment. Here she comes, left arm over, that's way outside the off stump, and she's got lucky because it swung back in a fraction, which probably just kept it inside the tram lines and not called a wide.
It might be she doesn't look too happy about the decision, mind, but I think it was probably just inside those dark blue lines that if you're watching the live pitch feed you can just see them indicating the wide line.
Stonehouse left arm over, comes in and pulled away by Maya Bouchier. There is a fielder out at deep square leg, so that will be just a single, and the Vipers are underway. Yes, Maya Bouchier, this is her 4th game in a row in this competition. Didn't play the games before that. She started with 0 against Westwood Storm, 0 against the Northern Diamonds, and 14 on Sunday against the Sparks. So looking to get some form ahead of the New Zealand series coming up next week.
Yeah, and it's not very often that you say that about Maya Bouchier, that she'd start with 2 ducks. So yeah, she'll be wanting to put that right now. She showed little signs, glimpses against the Sparks before getting out.
Stonehouse to Danny Wyatt then, and that's swung down the leg side. It wraps the pad of Danny Wyatt, goes down towards short fine leg. They'll come through for a leg by, just waiting for the umpire to signal, which he does now. And the Vipers are 2 without loss. So these teams go into today's game in 4th and 2nd. The Vipers in 4th, comfortably ahead of Thunder. So as I say, Vipers, Sparks, Stars and Blaze already through. As that swung as well there, but worked to mid-wicket by Maya Bouchier. The Vipers in 4th and the Stars in 2nd. And just to explain how Saturday works out, Charlotte, because there is a little bit on today, isn't there?
Yeah, so it's mainly to shuffle the pack, isn't it? So the team that finishes top will play the team that finishes 4th, and then 2 will play 3. We assume in that order, so 1 will play 4 and then 2 will play 3, followed by the final.
19-year-old Stonehouse bowls, keeps outside the off stump, tries to cut that one, does Bouchier, and misses. Through to keeper Chloe Hill, formerly of the Vipers.
Yeah, Stonehouse had a very good game in the last game, actually. She bowled well, got 3 for 13 against the Blaze. They bowled them out for 84, so it was a little bit of a whooping of the top team.
Yeah, and the only game Blaze lost, or have lost in the group stages so far. Outside the off stumps, it's a drive through extra cover for 4. Lovely shot, Maya Bouchier. It hung out there, didn't it? And it was a half volley.
It was a brilliant shot, wasn't it? All the way along the floor through extra cover with great control. And the 4 signs, if you're watching the live pitch feed, I don't know if it's a moving camera, but you can see the 4 signs being wafted by the school children, and they're loving today, which is just great to see. 6 for 0 after the first.
As I say, a very noisy Hove ground here. I've been here like you have. Well, you've played here for the Vipers. I've been here commentating several times, and normally you'd get, if you're lucky, a couple of 100 people here, but having the Sussex Cricket Foundation invite 3,000 school children has absolutely transformed this atmosphere. It was a real carnival atmosphere, isn't it?
It's really great, isn't it? Tash Farron to start proceedings, opening with Alexa Stonehouse. What end is that, Kev?
That is the Cromwell Road end.
Cromwell, I'm assuming that's because
The top
Cromwell
end.
Road is the
You
road
would
that
hope
lies
so.
behind. Otherwise it's just completely random. Tash Farron then to open the bowling, left arm over to Danny Wyatt. She stands at the top of mark and waits for Wyatt to be ready. She is now. 2 fielders outside, a deep cover and a deep backward square. She's in now 2 Wyatt. It's a back of a length delivery that Wyatt tries to cut, and it goes through to Hill. And there is no run. A little bit wide from Farron. They'd have played a lot of cricket against each other. Farron and Wyatt, or with each other, should I say,
Yeah,
as well, on England duty.
28 years of age now, Tash Farron, playing her 15th T20 game for the Stars.
With, of course, her international experience. She's in again to Wyatt. And there's another back of a length delivery, but this time a little bit straighter, and Wyatt finds Emma Jones at point. And again, there's no run. It's a favoured area of Danny Wyatt, of course. If you've seen a lot of cricket, likes that backward of point region. And that's why that fielder out at deep cover, I think it's Gregory out there, is being moved a little bit more as a... She's almost like a deep point, to be honest with you. She's very, very square. Farron into Wyatt, and she's just dropped that in front of her in the offside, and they're going to get through for a quick single. Quite often we see Danny Wyatt do that as well. Just to get herself going, she just drops the ball down in front of her feet. And she's obviously played a lot of cricket with Maya Bouchier now, and they're both on the same page, and they get through for a comfortable single. Vipers move to 7. First look at Bouchier against Farron. Any width here could be punished, just as it was in the last over. Width from Stonehouse resulted in a Bouchier drive. See what Farron has to offer her here. It's a full delivery, almost Yorker length, and she jabs that down onto the offside, and Emma Jones does well at point but can't cut off the single. It's good running by the Vipers. Another single. Boucher's off the mark. Oh no, she hit that 4, didn't she? Of course she knocked off the mark. That's 6.
And the Vipers in their familiar tangerine tops, the Stars in bright yellow tops.
Interesting next year what happens with the colours situation, with the counties taking ownership of the sides. Farron, and again a bouncer, slow bouncer, goes over the head of Danny Wyatt. It was wide. Has it been called a no ball? Yeah, it has. Too misdirected from Farron. It didn't look like it went through at any great pace, but it's been called a no ball. Umpire Treadwell now signals 1 for the over. It's not a free hit though. So hoping that Wyatt remembers that for her sake. Some no balls are not free hits. Farron has got to re-bowl it though nonetheless. And she's Fuller. Wyatt's driving. She tries to get it over the top of mid-on and doesn't. That's Paige Schofield stood there with the catch. Wyatt goes cheaply. Vipers lose their first. And they're 9 for 1.
Very similar to the dismissal Danny Wyatt on Sunday. Tried to hit over the top and got a thick outside edge and the ball ballooned to cover that time. I think the ball's just swung in a fraction from Farron. Just having a look at the replay there, and it has. It's just got a little closer to Danny Wyatt, which didn't allow her to free her hands through the shot. She almost had to adjust as the bat was coming down. And so she didn't get the power, she didn't get the elevation. And that's good bowling from Farron. Just a little bit of movement, just a hint of movement in the air.
Yeah, the one thing you don't want to give to Danny Wyatt is to give her width and room, and bringing that ball back into her means that she's got to try something different, and it doesn't pay off this occasion. A nice simple catch for Paige Schofield at mid-on. Didn't have to move. She probably thought she might have to jump at one stage, but it dropped nicely into her hands. And yeah, sort of familiar territory sometimes, isn't it? One of your big England stars going for another low total. 1 ball remaining of the second over. New batter Charlie Knott, the informed Charlie Knott. She's got 150 in the competition so far, 195 runs. She's also got 14 wickets, so she's definitely a key player for the Vipers in this competition so far. She's got a job to do here now. Farron in, a full toss, driven straight to the captain Bryony Smith at mid-off, and there is no run as the ball comes back in. That's the end of the second. The Vipers are 9 for 1.
Well, I spoke to Charlotte Edwards, head coach, after the game at Worcester, where the Vipers, with all of their England players playing in that game, was still bowled out for just 98 in the 18th over, and she thought, and she said it's on record, that it was one of the worst performances, probably the worst performance she's seen from the Vipers team in her time as a head coach. So you just know, or knowing Charlotte Edwards, as certainly you do, Charlotte. Whoa, there we go.
The screams. They're quite piercing, aren't they?
Yeah, I think we're going to get a lot of that. Here's Alexa Stonehouse again, left arm over the wicket, runs away from us. Boucher hits that in the air, just short of Schofield at mid-on, just short. She's trying to pull that away on the leg side, and that has not come out of the middle of the bat at all.
I think it was the right delivery to do it to. I think the shot was right. I think the execution is off. Boucher may be lacking a little bit of confidence.
Comes in again and bowls. That's swinging as well. That's a good delivery. Worked along the ground this time to mid-wicket, fielded by Alice Davidson-Richards. Good delivery, that one. Swinging in the air, back into the batter.
And that's maybe just that overhead cloud. Clouds are moving quickly, a bit of a breeze.
Is Stonehouse again, bowls, and Bouchier's had a slog at that one, got an inside edge, it's gone past short fine leg, rolls up the hill, and I think there's enough on that to take it over the road, but it is, you can tell from the crowd at the far end, which is considerable, although I don't think there's anybody over the age of 12. Absolutely, they've got all sorts of, what have they got there? They've got 4s and 6s card cutouts, and they're waving those profusely, and that is amazing.
They're having the best day, aren't they?
They are.
It's great to see whether this. Let's see if this energy continues throughout the whole game, or whether they're just going to peak in the first hour.
Here's Stonehouse again then. Vipers 13 for 1. Bowls. Bouchier wisely with that swinging delivery. Just punches that up to extra cover where Tash Farrant fields. Another form of Vipers. Tash Farrant played in the old Kia Super League for the Vipers between 2016 and 2019. So we've got Paige Schofield, a former Viper, up until 2 years ago, and Chloe Hill, who played for the Vipers last year behind the stumps. There's a few out there. Oh, that's come back as well, and Bouchier gets an inside edge on that one as it goes out on the leg side. Lovely shape on this ball from Alexa Stonehouse. 13 for 1 in the third. Danny White, the one batter out so far for 1. Now, Bryony Smith's having a word. What do you think she's saying here? Maybe extra fielder on the leg side with the swinging delivery? Maybe not. There's a mid wicket and a mid on.
Wondering whether
and a
she's
short
saying
fine
just
leg.
hold it back a fraction.
Comes in again. Bowls. Boucher drives. A bit of width on this one, but there is a deep cover. He's fielded twice actually, Daniel Gregory, but recovers well. Not a great throw over the head of Chloe Hill. And that would be the end of the third over. So interesting, the team selections, which we said at the top of the programme. 4 changes for the Stars, 2 changes for the Vipers, but still no Alice Capsey. She's taking a break, isn't she, at the moment? A well-earned break. No Rhiannon McDonald-Gay, who played in the last game as well.
Yeah, I assume she's resting, done a lot of bowling. 3 games in 4 days is a lot for the bowlers. Same with Franklin.
Yeah. But you thought Georgia Redmayne, the overseas, that was
an interesting one for me. I mean,
yeah.
she hasn't been here very long, so unless they're sort of protecting her, maybe she's working around some niggles and bits and pieces. So maybe just protecting her ready for Saturday. Or whether it's just a genuine rest, I don't know.
Well, she was only signed for 3 of these games in this competition, including finals day, so you're right, she's not actually over here for very long, although she is playing in 4 or scheduled to play 4 Rachel Hayhoe games as well.
Change of bowling then from the Cromwell Wide end. Emma Jones starts with a bumper to Bouchier, pulls it into the leg side. It's racing across the outfield square of the wicket out to the deep mid-wicket boundary, and it will go for 4. So that will bring some cheers and hopefully some confidence to Bouchier. She didn't get all of it, to be honest with you, but as the same result goes for 4, Bouchier moves to 15. Vipers 18 for 1.
It's an incredible atmosphere, it has to be said. There's hardly anything away to our right. But
Yeah,
in
it's
front of us,
quite bland to
up
our
the
right.
hill, and as you'd expect, the pavilion is quite sombre, but to the left with the stand as well, that's equally as noisy.
It's great, isn't it? Jones then to continue another short delivery, pulled into the leg side. It's gone into the air this time. Courtine Coleman's running round to her left, can't get there. 4 more. That was up and over the infield. I thought for a minute then that Tilly Courtine Coleman was running round to her left, her favoured left-hand side, was going to get there at fine leg, but it had just enough on it to take it away from her. And 1 bounce over the boundary rate. Vipers 22 for 1 now. Bouchier starting to get going. It still doesn't look convincing though for me.
She's not in full flow, is she? I mean, opening this competition with 2 noughts, or her opening the competition with 2 noughts, I guess there must be a little bit of doubt in her mind at the moment.
Field change then, square out this time, and that's pulled to the fielder at square leg. It's beaten her, it's gone through Stonehouse at deep backward square. The fielder had just come up from fine leg into the circle, and deep backward square went out, and the ball went straight to Stonehouse, but it's gone straight through. A hit with more power, a more convincing shot from Bouchier. She moves to 23. We're back to back boundaries. That was quite hard to say. 26 for 1 the Vipers.
Yeah, not a great bit of fielding, has to be said. It's a lovely outfield here. Some outfields are smoother and the grass is a bit closer, knitted together better than others. I've always felt the outfield here was pretty good.
It's pretty electric. Another short one, another wide one, another boundary through the offside this time, cut on the back foot through cover. 4 more. Now Bouchier looks to me like she's starting to get going. This has been a real loosener from Emma Jones. She bowled beautifully in the last game. Let's just have a quick look. She got 3 for in the last game, or 2 wickets in the last game, and played her hand with the bat as well. But she's not started very well here.
Poor over width, too short.
Definitely too short. And on that occasion, too wide. She's got 2 more deliveries, a boundary off every delivery so far. She's into Bouchier, another short delivery, it's hooked, it's gone 1 bounce 4 down to deep fine leg, there's no fielder there, 4 more. Bryony Smith is clapping, our captain is clapping Emma Jones, and I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe the plan is to find that fielder at deep backward square, and that's the plan, to have her out caught there. But Bouchier just helped that round the corner, and it's way too short. 5 boundaries off the over now. Bouchier is now motoring at 33, and she's starting to look quite fluent for me now. 36 for 1, the Vipers.
Well, I think even an out of form Maya Bouchier could put those away as well. And this is very quickly appearing her back into form. Incredible stuff.
Well, the plan must be to have her caught at deep backward square, which is where Stonehouse has stood. But I'm not entirely sure whether that's the right option. You've got to hit it so precisely to find her.
She's got to pitch it up a bit more, surely.
She's in again. Another better length delivery this time. It was shorter, but it was a better length. It was straight, and all Bouchier could do was defend it. So a dot off the last, 20 off that one. Vipers 34 for 1 after 4 now.
Wow. Well, you don't wish overs like that on anybody. She's only 21 years of age, Emma Jones, playing her 17th T20 match for the South East Stars. I mean, you could just see there towards the end of that over, she sort of stood there with her back to the batter and just looked at the ground and looked up in the air, distraught that just basically there was no balls in the right area.
No.
And it comes down to the old-fashioned line and length.
Yeah,
at the very least,
certainly
even
does.
in T20 cricket. So 34 for 1, huge over that one for the Vipers. Just to remind you, the Stars won the toss and elected to bowl first. They've started this game in 2nd place, and the Vipers in 4th. So, new bowler is Matilda Courtine-Coleman. Bit of a story for her this year, the 16-year-old. We'll come to that in a moment. She'll be bowling her slow left arm as she's round the wicket, bowls to Charlie Knott, who drives pleasantly out into the covers. And there is no run. So the story of Courtine-Coleman this year.
Well, she burst onto the scene, didn't she? And took a 5 for on debut.
Comes in again, flighted, good length delivery, Knott just pushes it back to the bowler.
And 4 of those was in 4 consecutive deliveries. She was quite impressive that day against the Diamonds. And yeah, she was picked up in the 100 draft actually. We'll come back to it in a second.
Flighted again, Knott drives into the ground, takes the pace off the ball, goes back to the bowler.
We talk about Charlotte Edwards', niche for picking up young talent. Well, this is before Tilly had played a game. Charlotte Edwards said, no, we'll pick her up in the draft at, a set price or whatever. And she hadn't played a game of T20 cricket, but she just saw something.
Well, comes in and bowls, and Knott just pushes that in the cover. She wants a single, but there isn't one there.
And, yeah, then debuts for the Stars, gets 5 for, and everyone's going, oh, where's she going in the 100? Well, she's already been signed at the Southern Brave for the summer.
Yeah.
Quite exciting for such a young player. Burst onto the scene.
Just 16 years of age, already a 4 in 4 to her name. Knott drives, again, can't get any power in that shot. Well pitched up here by Courtine-Coleman. You have to have a double-barreled name to play for the South East Stars these days, don't you? Davison Richards. Actually, McDonald Gay isn't playing today, having played the last game. Again, Knott drives, it's not out of the middle of the bat, and that's a good start for the 16-year-old. That first over of hers with her slow left armers is actually a maiden. Well, what a contrast from the previous over.
I know, it's obviously, it was needed, to be honest with you, because, like you say, Kev, the previous over was quite expensive, conceding 20, so that just brings it back under a little bit of control in the power play. I thought we'd see a change of bowling after that one. Bit of a loosener from Jones. We're going to see the return of Farrant for her second. Shot the wicket of Wyatt in the second over. Wyatt was caught at mid-on by Paige Schofield. Only wicket to fall so far. Vipers 34 for 1. It's the last over of the power play, and then that field can spread. So 2 fielders outside of the inner circle so far. Deep cover and deep backward square Farrant's in to Bouchier, uses her feet and tries to pull it into the leg side. Hits the top of her pad. And she looks for one, not sends her back. Good decision in the end, I think.
Well, Bouchier in this form. I just hope. I always worry with my Bouchier that when she's scoring so freely that she gets a bit too carried away, and then just tries something where she doesn't need to. I just
One
hope that
shot
doesn't
too
happen
many.
here. Yeah, because she's too good a player really to having started like this. Only has a high score of 56 for the Vipers in this competition in her 36th T20 game.
She waits for Farrant, left arm over the wicket, comes tight to the stumps and bowls outside the off stump, a full delivery. And Bouchier tries to drive that straight, gets a thick inside edge and goes out to mid-wicket, and there is no run.
Actually, around that over of hers, she has got a few inside edges, hasn't she?
Yeah, even though the over before went for 20, I think it was just pure bad bowling, to be honest with you. I think that when you pitch it up, she's still not as fluent as she has been in the past.
No.
That fielder at backwards square leg goes in front of square now. Farrant's in again, full outside the off stump, lifted it over mid-off. That's a bit better from Bouchier. That's out the middle of the bat. Couple of bounces into the boundary boards. Another boundary to her.
Yeah, slower ball there from Farrant, and that didn't swing. Just well outside the off stump, well in Bouchier's arc. Maybe she was just committed to the shot anyway and just went through with it. Whether she picked the slower ball or not, it didn't really matter.
39 for one now.
It's a poor ball from Farrant. They bowled a few poor balls.
Bouchier waits, a high backlift. It's a better length delivery, still a bit of width. Played nicely into the covers. Kalia Moore does the fielding inside the circle at extra cover. See her in action a little bit later with the ball with her off spin. She's not bowled a full allocation an awful lot in this competition. But looking around, they've picked an extra batter in Maddie Blinkhorn-Jones. So she might get an opportunity to show what she can do with the ball. Farrant to Bouchier, makes a bit of room for herself, swats that into the leg side. That's huge, that's going to be 6 into the boundary edge. That's a better looking shot. She moves and gives herself a bit of room at the crease to free her arms up and clears the boundary by a good couple of metres at deep mid-wicket. There's no fielder out there, of course, because the two fielders out inside this power play are at deep cover and deep square. What a great shot that
Of course,
was.
she got hold of that. You know, there's a good way of playing a pull shot where you don't actually just throw the bat through the line, but your body goes towards the shot as well, where the ball goes, and she got everything right, didn't she?
It was wonderful. She's gone again this time. This time it's square. It's 6 again. Short from Farrant on Bouchier's hips.
Wow.
And that's another 6. Back-to-back 6s for Bouchier. She's really flowing now. But they've just bowled quite poorly. It's the end of the power play. And the Vipers are 50 for 1 at the end of the 6th.
Well, there's been 2 very bad overs, hasn't it, in that power play? That's another poor one, really. You just cannot bowl short here. You've never, whether you're male, female, whatever, under 5, you know, over 50s, you know, you don't bowl short here unless you are express pace. And they're making a huge mistake here, the Stars bowlers, by just banging in short of a length. It stands up, it always has stood up here, and it doesn't bounce a lot. In fact, Farrant did bowl a bouncer, didn't she, her first over, which I thought was remarkable for her to get it about head height to Danny Wyatt.
But it came through with no real pace,
No,
did
it
it?
didn't. Matilda Courtine-Coleman, the 16-year-old whose first over was a maiden. I'm sure Bryony Smith will want another maiden here, the way things are. She's bowling to Charlie Knott, and Knott sweeps away on the leg side. In fact, it is Knott, yeah. It's swept away on the leg side for just the one. And Knott, who's completely being overshadowed here at the moment, is off the mark now in her 8th delivery that she's faced. But Maya Bouchier, 47 from just 24 deliveries. I think the crowd would have been excited anyway, even if she was 1 off 24.
Yeah.
I don't think you can necessarily tell the sort of innings that she's playing just from the crowd noise, because these school children are making an amazing amount of noise. That's turned away quietly on the leg side by Bouchier, moves on to 48, 52 for 1. The other games that are going on in this last round of fixtures in the group stages of the Charlotte Edwards Cup, Central Sparks, who we mentioned earlier, have already qualified. They are 29 without loss in the 7th over. That's against group leaders Blaze. As Courtine Coleman bowls. Sweep, and she's swept it onto the stumps, and she's out. And that is Charlie Knott, who got a bottom edge. And the ball just ricocheted off the badge, aimed to the stumps, and Knott goes for 1. The Vipers are 52 for 2.
Yeah, slightly unfortunate for Charlie Knott. I think she looked to do the right thing. There was a big open spaces on the leg side. She got 1 sweep away earlier in the over to pick up a single. That's a strength of hers, sweeping the ball. But on this occasion, got a little under edge, and it came to her demise, unfortunately. So she has to go back to the pavilion and for 1. And it brings the captain, Georgia Adams, to the crease. She's a little bit shy of runs for her standards in this competition.
Just having a look. Georgia Adams, 161 runs at 23. Top score of 55 this season. It's quite ironic, actually, that these last round of games, the 4 sides who are qualified are each playing against each other.
Yeah, I know. Just the way it's worked out.
It has, isn't it? Of the other sides that are already out, Lancashire Thunder 19 for 4 in the 5th against the Northern Diamonds, and Western Storm are 45 for 1 in the 7th against the Sunrisers.
I would say all to play for, but there's actually nothing to play for other than a bit of pride for some teams, and your positioning obviously in the table for these 2 teams, and the Blaze and the Sparks that are playing against each other at Edgbaston as well. So
Courtine Coleman comes in, and that's cut away by Georgia Adams. She's off the mark straight away as it goes out deep into the cover area. 53 for 2. So the Blaze started on 35, South East Stars on 34. So depending on results today, South East Stars do have a chance of finishing top of the table, which means they will play the 4th place side. There's a push out on the onside by Bouchier for a single. She moves on to 49 from 26 deliveries. The Central Sparks cannot catch the South East Stars no matter what, but the Southern Vipers, with a good win here and a bonus point, could actually finish 3rd above the Sparks, depending on what they do today. So, as I say, it will affect the semi-final running order in 3 days' time. Another single to Adams out into the covers. She moves on to 2, and 55 for 2 at the end of the 7th over. And that's another good over from Courtine Coleman to go with the maiden of the 1st over. That's gone for 5.
yeah, very good start from her. She's really kept a lid on things. Some of the seamers have been a bit more expensive, and she's just kept the calm in the camp, in the Stars camp. I thought we might see this. The end of the power play usually means the introduction of more spin, and it's the spin of Danny Gregory that we're going to see from the Cromwell Road end, far end of the ground, as we look at it. Danny Gregory, 25 years old, hasn't yet been picked up. Sorry, I can't really hear you over this noise of the crowd. She hasn't been yet picked up in the 100. Obviously, at the end of this competition, the wild card draft thing opens for the 100. She's one that hasn't yet been picked up. Got 3 against the Vipers at the Oval in the return fixture against these 2 sides. She's into Adams, starts with a short one, pulled into the leg side, and beats, is that Farrant out there? It is, beats Farrant to her left-hand side out to deep square, and it's a poor delivery to start, too short, and Adams puts it away with ease. That's her first boundary. Vipers 59 for 2, Adams on 6, Bouchier hovering on 49.
I've lost count of the number of short deliveries.
Too many.
Yeah, far too many at this stage. I mean, we're only into the 8th. There's been loads.
Gregory then with her leg spin. Again, a little bit short down the leg side and misses everything. So umpire Treadwell will call that a wide. 60 for 2. She'll have to re-bowl that one, of course.
Long trademark long pigtails of hers.
Absolutely. She's again down the leg side. Same result. Another wide is called. Chloe Hill fumbles the ball, but doesn't cost a run. She stops it from going down the hill. Sometimes you can bowl a wide here as a spinner and it will race down the hill. Trust me, I've been victim to it.
Have you?
Yeah, on more than one occasion. Gregory in again, short, pulled into the leg side by Adams, out to Farron. She's just fielding just in front of square out there. It's almost an in-between position really. It's a deep mid-wicket, but it's not. It's quite square. There's a big gap between the fielders at long on and deep mid-wicket.
It's because of the short ball, isn't it? It's generally going squarer.
Bouchier then on 49, waits for Gregory. Vipers 62 for 2. She's just working that into the leg side, backward a square. Stonehouse comes in, that'll be Bouchier's 50. Brilliant batting. She's needed that 50 from just 27 deliveries. It's her first of the competition. It's a first for a while, to be honest with you. I think that'll bring some relief to her and the Vipers camp, that if they're going to have any chance of winning this competition, one of these top 4 need to get going, and she's doing that today for the Vipers.
8 4s and 2 6s.
Adams this time works that to the fielder at short fine off her legs. A full delivery from Gregory. Going a bit too straight here, Gregory. There's big gaps on the leg side. It's just easy for the batters to work that into the empty space and rotate the strike nicely. Vipers now 64 for 2. Adams on 8. Bouchier on strike short and pulled into the leg side, straight into the hands of Farron. He fumbles it once at deep square leg, but does the fielding in the end with no real cost. 1 more to the total.
There's been hardly any drives down the ground. It's just all
Just
been
shows
square.
if you
isn't
saw a wagon wheel right now, you'd see
Yeah.
it very much square of the wicket. A lot of balls going towards that pavilion to our left. Another short delivery pulled into the leg side by Adams. Is it going to split the 2? It's going to Stonehouse's favoured left-hand side.
it, as well?
That deep backward square, and they pick up 2 more. She does do well. She sits on the ball, but that's okay. 67 for 2 at the end of the 8th. Bouchier 51. Adams with her on 10.
Well, another short delivery. No turn there at all for Daniel Gregory, the leg spinner. 25 years of age, playing her 30th T20 game for the South East Stars. And again, the school children. Oh, actually, the noise has just died down a fraction. Maybe those sugary drinks have just started to wear off.
Yeah, how many do you want to give them, though? That's the issue.
But nearly 3,000, or around 3,000, have been invited by the Sussex Cricket Foundation here today.
Do we reckon there's
The county
3,000
of
here?
Sussex.
3,000 invited? Do we think there's 3,000 here?
I don't know, there's a lot, isn't there? In the
Does
far
feel
end
like
of the
there is.
ground, is most of those stands at the far end, the seats are taken, and certainly the bigger stand to our left, that looks virtually full to me. The members' pavilion, a nice oasis of calm, as that's driven over the head by Bouchier. Who have we got here? The new bowler, Alexa Stonehouse again?
No, this is Kalia Moore.
Oh, Kelly Moore. 2 runs to Maya Bouchier, takes her on to 53 from just 29 deliveries, 69 for 2. The Vipers in the 9th. Kelly Moore, one of the 4 changes in the Vipers in the South East Stars for this game. Round the wicket, bowling her off breaks, full on leg stump, called through for a single by Georgia Adams as the ball went behind square on the leg side. Good call as it turned out.
Yeah, it was a good
Comfortable
call.
single. 70 for 2, and Bouchier moves on to 54. Adams is on 10 from 6. The 2 batters out, Danny Wyatt for 1 and Charlie Knott for 1.
The One Club.
The 1 club, yeah. And there was Bouchier smashing it around in between that.
There's nothing worse, is there?
They're probably looking at it thinking, why didn't I get all those short deliveries? Nice shot from Adams out towards deep mid-on. Fielded by Alice Davidson-Richards, just to our right, at the bottom end of the ground.
Yeah, they're probably sat there kicking themselves a little bit.
Round the wicket again, this time to Bouchier, comes down the wicket, drives, half stopped. She's lying on the ground, is Kalia Moore, but she's done her job, making sure that ball didn't get past her. That's all you need to do, whether you're on the ground, on your feet, no matter what, just get something in behind the ball to make sure that the batters can't complete at least a single. 71 for 2 then, 2 balls remaining of the 9th. Sun comes out here at Hove. She's gone across the stumps and pulled that away on the leg side, and that is one bounce for 4. Well, she had to hit it, having moved where she did, because if she'd missed, that would have hit the stumps. In fact, she's been given 6.
I think umpire Treadwell at square leg turned to the standing umpire Fiona Richards and said that was 6 runs. As it carried all the way over the boundary, but you're right, Kev, she had to hit it, otherwise it was going to clatter into the stump. She's done well, she moves to 60.
And this is now her highest Vipers score in T20 cricket. Goes for the reverse sweep, misses that one. Outside of off stump, fortunately. She's 60 off 33 deliveries now, with the Vipers 77 for 2. And I think that's the end of the over. James Treadwell's walking in as if to suggest it is the end of the over. And he's the one who's right, because everybody else now is starting to change in. 77 for 2, 10 runs off that over.
Yeah, if you're just looking at the live picture feed, you'd have seen that 6 from Bouchier again. And it would have gone on to hit leg stump, I think, if she'd missed it. So it was well required for her to make good connection. She made better than good connection. She made a great connection as it sailed over the boundary rope. Her third 6 of her innings, and she's absolutely motoring. 60 from 33 deliveries. Captain George Adams is steadily with her on 11.
It's difficult to keep up with her. Anybody.
Gregory then to continue with her leg breaks. She's into Adams, who's driving up to the top end of the ground. She's going to pick up a single. Bouchier wants 2, Adams says no. As long on comes round, that's Alice Davidson Richards there, comes round to her left to do the fielding. 1 more to the total. That's all that Adams needs to do now, really, isn't it? Just to get Bouchier on strike when she's firing like this.
Yeah, oh yeah. Great entertainment value.
Play the supporting role. Gregory into Bouchier, short, and Bouchier tries to pull it into the leg side. Does so, but with no timing. Tash Farron out there at deep mid-wicket does the fielding. 1 more to the total.
My only worry for Bouchier, really, at this moment is, I mean, she kept that along the ground, even though it was a bottom edge, but she hole out on the leg side, pulling.
That is a worry for everyone involved. Driving this time as Adams up to long on. It's a little inside edge. Full delivery from Gregory. Better over this so far from her. 3 singles from it. Score is now 80 for 2. Almost at the halfway stage here at Hove. Bouchier with almost a switch hit. I would like to say it's a reverse, but she's changed her feet round. She's tried to mow it, really. Backward a point, but misses everything. Almost hits the stumps, but luckily for her, it didn't. Dot ball. She's playing every shot in the book now, is Maya Bouchier. Including the clip off the legs, backward a square to a full delivery this time from Gregory. A little bit too straight, finds Stonehouse at deep backward square. 1 more to the total.
Yeah, in fact, a couple of reverse sweeps that Bouchier's played, she hasn't really executed the shot very well, has she?
No.
I mean, again, you worry if she tries to play a few more of those, that could be her demise.
Short one from Gregory, pulled into the leg side by Adams as she found Stonehouse. No, she hasn't, it's dropped in front of her. I think she misjudged it at deep backward square, did Stonehouse. As I think she probably would have been expected to take that, as it drops literally centimetres in front of her, and Adams survives. 83 for 2 at the halfway stage. Bouchier 62 from 36. Adams just about survives. She's 15 from 10.
Yeah, for this ground, that's a relatively big boundary, isn't it? Away to the left, we can see the pavilion here. Away to our left, there's a lot of balls being pulled away in the air. Now, to be honest, they're feeding it a lot, the Stars bowlers, which is not helping. But you've really got to, if you're going to hit it in the air, you've got to time it. Otherwise, you are offering it to the fielders. Kaylee Moore will continue with her off breaks. Her first over went for 10. She's round the wicket to Bouchier. Bouchier gives herself some room, hits it right over the bowler's head. Not timed. Great diving stop right in front of us. I think Tash Farron has done herself a little bit of harm. I think she fell awkwardly, didn't she? She's getting up rather gingerly. Good stop though.
I think she's like almost winded herself. When you land on your stomach like that, it takes all the wind out of you.
Just signalling that she's okay. 85 for 2 then. Boucher's on 64 from 37. Faces the next delivery for Moore. Comes in and bowls. Boucher pulls that away on the leg side. Keeps a little low. Now this could be 2 here. Davison Richards has got quite a lot to do at mid-on. And they jog through for a second. Boucher moves on to 66. 87 for 2 here, the Vipers. Great start made by them. And that over of 20 from Emma Jones in the 4th over has certainly given the innings some massive momentum. Kaylee Moore bowls. Boucher drives along the ground. This will be easier for Tash Farrant coming in off the deep mid-off boundary. 88 for 2, isn't it? It just takes 1 over, doesn't it, in this T20 cricket to change momentum, and it certainly did from a Vipers point of view. Up to that point, first 3 overs cost 14, and they'd already lost Danny Wyatt. Kaylee Moore into Georgia Adams. Home player, Georgia Adams. Sussex women when she was younger. It's played out on the onside 1 run. 89 for 2.
Yeah, I think she enjoys playing at Hove.
Was she?
Yeah, close to home.
Yeah, or was.
Well, yeah, not so
moved.
much anymore.
Yeah, she's moved to Southampton now. There's Kaylee Moore bowls. Here's the reverse hit. Now there she's got hold of that one. Maya Boucher, and that's 1 bounce for 4. Back on a square on the offside. Right out of the middle of the bat.
It's a good shot, isn't it? Gets a long reach. She's got a long reach, Boucher. And lifts it over the infield with ease, really. 1 bounce just in front of her teammates in the dugout. And she's really playing. I haven't seen her play this sort of repertoire of shots too often. But she's really playing with some confidence now. And boy, do the Vipers need it.
Certainly, especially after their batting performance on Sunday, which was heavily criticised by head coach Charlotte Edwards. They've certainly answered that call. That's gone out to Alice Davidson Richards again, and she's fallen awkwardly down at deep mid on her. She's holding her shoulder now. 2 runs, and she's struggling a bit.
I think it was her elbow when I don't know whether she hit the floor awkwardly with her elbow or whether it was when she threw the ball in. I'm not sure. But she seems okay. She sort of jogs gingerly to her fielding position at the top end of the ground, so she's going from long on to long on, shaking her elbow a little bit. But
not necessarily.
The physio's just come round actually to her left to treat and make sure that Farrant was okay after her fall. And now she's got to do a full lap background to check if Alice Davidson Richards is okay as well. 95 for 2, the Vipers. We're back live here. Gregory to continue a 3rd in a row. Chopping down on it is Adams, a bit wide outside the off stump, but Emma Jones is there at point to do the fielding. I think they're banking on Gregory here to find them another wicket or 2. She got 3 against the Vipers in the return fixture at the Oval, bowled well that day. She's in again to Adams, who's lofting it up to mid-off, and it's been dropped by Schofield, running in, sliding on her bottom. And it dipped on her at the last minute, I think, so she couldn't quite get her fingers underneath it. I think it's a drop, though. She looks disappointed, Schofield, as she drops her former captain.
Yeah, she got there.
Adams dropped on 17. Boucher plays this one over the top of extra cover. Hasn't timed it, though. So Schofield will collect the ball from just inside the boundary rope. Poor throw back into the bowler. Backed up nicely by Farrant, who comes in off the deep mid-wicket boundary. It's a little bit chaotic at the moment, I feel. I think the Stars are just finding that this game is just running away from them. This innings, is running away from them a little bit. Boucher moves to 75 off just 42 deliveries. Gregory in again. Boucher sweeps, and it hits a pad and just filters down to Tilly Courtine-Coleman, who's just fielding just inside the circle at fine leg.
Well, this is Boucher's 2nd highest ever T20 score. She got a 91 for England. So that's
recently in New Zealand, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't know.
I think so. Gregory to Adams, short outside the off stump. Adams played her trademark cut shot out to Kalia Moore at deep cover, and she collects 1 more. She's playing her hand here just to get Boucher on strike. She was dropped earlier in the over, but I think she's just finding an element of control. That's the Vipers' 100 coming up in the 12th. Gregory makes Boucher wait. a little bit longer. She's in now, and Bouchier creates a bit of room for herself and cuts the ball, but only to Bryony Smith, who's fielding extra cover inside the circle. Does the fielding. Bouchier looks disappointed with that one, that she's missed out. A dot ball to finish the over. It's the end of the 12th. Vipers are exactly 100 for 2.
The bowling figures so far for the Stars, it makes good reading for some and not for others. Alexa Stonehouse with her left arm seamers opening up. Bit of swing for her, 2 overs, none for 10. Tash Farrant, 2 overs, 1 for 19, picked up the wicket of Danny Wyatt. Emma Jones, that 1 over down the hill that went for 20, really did set the Vipers up with some serious momentum. Tilly Courtine-Coleman, who's back into the attack, the 16-year-old slow left armour. 2 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 5. Picked up the wicket with Charlie Knott. Here she is. Going through some other bowling figures in a moment as Adams works out along the ground to deep mid-on. She moves on to 19, 101 for 2. Daniel Gregory has bowled 3 overs, I think that's 23 she's gone for, 22. And Kaylia Moore with her off breaks, 2 overs, none for 22. Here's Courtine-Coleman again, worked on the onside by Bouchier. Runs the first one, I don't think they'll get 2, or will they? Yes, they're turning. Georgia Adams says, I can get there. Throw actually goes in at the far end. And that is 2 runs. Emma Jones throwing that one in from deep mid-wicket. And the Bouchier-Adams partnership has now realised 51 from just 35 deliveries. As the Vipers move on to 103 for 2. We're in the 13th over here. Bouchier on 77 from 45. Drives, gets an inside edge. Called through for a single again by Adams. Quick single. I think the direct hit from Daniel Gregory at short fine leg might have been an interesting call had it hit the stumps. She certainly banged the ground, Gregory, when the ball went past and she realised she'd missed the woodwork. 104 for 2.
They need something like that, the Stars, don't they? A little run out.
They do. Courtine-Coleman bowls, and that's driven to square leg. All Courtine-Coleman is doing here is just bowling fullish and flat. Not flat, not so much flat, but just straight. Something that other bowlers have not done, have they? They haven't bowled at the stumps, they haven't attacked the stumps, they haven't pitched the ball up.
She's done all of those things.
And her figures are the best. Now, there's a nice drive down the ground. This could be 6, or not quite. Just bounced. Oh, she have to send back. You have to hurry. Bouchier could be run out here. Oh, my word. There was a mix-up between Adams and Bouchier. In the end, Bouchier had to run to the danger end. And she just about got home, although, again, Coleman trying to throw the ball onto the stumps misses. Bouchier diving. Well, that would have been criminal if Bouchier had been out like that.
I'm just wondering whether Bouchier was ball watching.
This may have done. Courtine-Coleman bowls again. That is a bit flatter. That's driven out on the onside. There was a mix-up between Adams and Freya Kemp on Sunday against the Vipers, where they both ended against the Sparks, where they both ended up at the same end. I'm not suggesting that running with Georgia Adams is a bit of a problem, but I don't know. But that would have been such a shame. I'm sure the Stars wouldn't have minded, but from a Vipers' point of view and from Maya Bouchier's point of view, she's playing far too well to be run out like that.
Yeah, looking at, if you're just watching the live picture feed just then, it looked like Bouchier didn't run the first one as hard as Adams did. She jogged through for the first, thinking it was 1. And Adams said, no, there's definitely 2 there. And she was right to call through 2, but Bouchier almost sent her back and then realised that she was coming anyway. And there was definitely 2 there if she went straight away. And it was a bit of poor running from Bouchier. Gregory then to bowler last, and that's a bit of a long hop, to be honest with you. And Adams could hit it anywhere, but finds deep square leg, and Tash Farrant out there. Well, thought that might have bounced, or was almost going to bounce twice, but didn't in the end. Bouchier brings Bouchier back onto strike. 108 for 2, the Vipers. Bouchier moves across her stumps, lifts it over the infield. It's going to fall safely, I think, just in front of Stonehouse, who runs round to her right. They're going to come back for 2. That's better running from Bouchier. She moved across to the offside and helped it on its way, and landed in the safe space between Stonehouse, who was at almost like a long leg position, and Tilly Courtine-Coleman, who's at fine leg but inside the circle, landed in that vacant space, and they come through for 2 more. Bouchier into the 80s now. Vipers 110 for 2. Approaching the business end of this innings. It's a full delivery from Gregory on the toes of Bouchier. He drives a full toss up to long on. Davison Richards, she's obviously recovered from her elbow misdemeanour. thrown the ball back in with no real. Well, now she's no, she's not. I thought she was holding her elbow. I thought I just lied, but she's not. She's fine. 111 for 2. Gregory in again to Adams, who uses her feet and drives up past Paige Schofield at mid-off. She was inside the circle, and Adams has got every piece of that. It's gone for 4. Good shot from Georgia Adams. If they both start to motor, this could be quite a dangerous partnership for the two of them and for the Stars. Adams moves to 27. 115 for 2, the Vipers.
63, I make it, these two are put on.
It's a great partnership. Gregory to Adams, bowls a Yorker, and Adams digs that out and plays it back to the bowler. No run taken.
There have been too many dot balls, hasn't there, in the last 15 minutes or so?
Not many at all, lots of boundaries. It's not what the Stars need. Gregory in again, that's a better length delivery, and Adams tries to find space on the offside to come through for a single, but can't. Emma Jones comes in from point and does the fielding. So that's the end of the 14th. Vipers 115 for 2. Bouchier on 81. The batters just having a quick drink. Adams with her on 27.
That's not a bad over, actually, from Daniel Gregory. In fact, the last 2 overs have been relatively quiet. Courtine Coleman's went for 7, and that one's gone for 8.
Compared to where we were when some of the overs were going for, well, into the 20s, they are quite quiet.
Yeah, just that one big over, over number 4, Emma Jones, the seam bowler, bowling far too short, and Bouchier just pulling it at will out on the leg side for either 4 or 6. So 115 for 2, 14 overs gone, got 6 to go. The Stars won the toss, elected to bowl first. 4 changes from the side that beat the Blaze, their 1 defeat to date, the table toppers. And the Vipers making 2 changes from the side that folded horribly with the bat on Sunday against Central Sparks. Now, Alexa Stonehouse, with her left arm medium paces, is back into the attack, but she's going to switch to round the wicket this time. She's going to be bowling to Bouchier, hoping to tuck her up a little bit with the line. Runs away from us and bowls. Bouchier gives herself room, drives through extra cover, beautiful shot, 4 runs. The ball was almost in a perfect area for her once she'd given herself a couple of steps to the leg side.
It's a lovely shot, wasn't it? All the way along the floor that time. There's not a lot Bryony Smith could have done about it. It was hit too powerfully. She may have dived over it, so she may personally feel that she could have done better. But it was just a little bit over pitched, if anything, from Stonehouse. Bouchier made the room for herself to open up the offside. It's a brilliant shot. She moves to 85.
119 for 2 then, 85 off 49. She's now 6 runs away from equaling her highest ever T20 score, and that was 91 for England, and we think, we'll check that in a minute, but
I think
it was against New Zealand during the winter. Here's Stonehouse again, and bowls, and Bouchier drives in the air, but it's going through extra cover for 4 more. They have actually put a fielder out at deep extra cover, but she's timed it too well. Bouchier knows that the ball is coming into her, so she's moving to the leg side to give herself some room. And when the ball arrives, it's allowing her to free her arms up. And she's striking the ball so well now. 89 from 50 deliveries, 123 for 2.
Yeah, Maya Bouchier's highest T20 score, 91 of 56 deliveries against New Zealand in the winter, was in Wellington.
Well, she might be quicker here, the way things are going. And Stonehouse bowls again, straighter. And Bouchier this time stands in front of the stumps and tickles it around on the leg side. Wants to, but can't. It'll be Adams that will face the next delivery. Bouchier moves on to 90. And the Vipers are 124 for 2. Well, if they can win here and win well, of course we're already looking ahead, way ahead. But if they can get a better run rate than the Central Sparks, then they will finish 3rd, assuming Sparks don't win. In their game today, they're playing the Blaze. Sparks are 96 for 2 in the 14th in that game, by the way. Stonehouse again, bowling to Adams this time, and Adams works that good length ball all the way on the leg side. They'll just work a single as Emma Jones comes in off the deep mid-wicket boundary, away to our right. 125 for 2. Adams, we mustn't forget Georgia Adams out there, 28 off 23 deliveries, which in itself is pretty quick.
Just playing a nice supporting role.
Yeah, Boucher's taking all the headlines here and all the plaudits, quite rightly as well. Stonehurst bowls full, driven by Boucher, off the bottom of the bat more than the middle. Goes out to Smith, who's right on the 25-yard circle at mid-off. Dot ball, first dot ball in this over. 4-4-1-1 it started for Alexa Stonehouse. He's running up the hill. And bowls to Boucher once more. Boucher drives and quite a full delivery and manages to find the angle out on the offside and will keep the strike. So 15 overs gone here at the First Central County Ground in Hove. Kevin James and Charlotte Taylor with you, bringing this last group match for both these sides as it is around the country. We're on BBC 5 Sports Extra, the BBC Sport website and app, and we are also on the live picture feed, which is on the Sussex Cricket website and also on the Vipers Twitter feed. Bryony Smith.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think she's bowled in this tournament so far. No, she hasn't.
Needed to, has she?
No, hasn't needed to. They've got a lot of bowling options in this side, but she's going to bowl for the first time in this competition. Her off breaks, not a massive turner of the ball, Bryony Smith.
I just want somebody who can bowl straight and fullish.
I think that's what she's going to try and do here. I assume
Yeah.
that's what she's going to try and do here, is just bowl at the stumps. Boucher waits for her. She's 91 not out. She's short. She's tried to lift it over the infield. She's done that just about over the head of Tilly Courtine Coleman at short fine leg. It drops into no person's land, shall I say. And she picks up two more. Didn't get enough of it. If she had done, I think she might have hit it straight to Alexa Stonehouse at deep backward square. So lucky for her, she survives.
And this is now her highest ever T20 score.
Reverse sweep this time from Boucher. She's been given out LBW. She looks disappointed. It's a full straight delivery from Bryony Smith, and it's one too many shots for Boucher. She goes for 93. She's played a blinder of an innings for the Vipers. 93 from just 55 deliveries, her highest ever T20 score. She's given the Vipers some real impetus going into the back end of this innings, and the captain brings herself on and takes a wicket.
Well, I must admit, when she came on, I don't know if you were thinking the same, Charlotte, but probably she should have come on a few overs earlier, knowing the way some of the bowlers have been bowling.
Yeah, possibly.
It just needs somebody to bowl straight.
Yeah.
But a terrific knock, nevertheless, from Maya Boucher. 93 from 55 balls with 11 fours and 3 sixes, her highest ever T20 score, and that includes 31 matches for England and 18 for the Hampshire women, as well as her innings for the Southern Vipers. Yes, played for the Southern Brave as well. But that is her highest ever score, and she'll probably never have a better opportunity of reaching 3 figures.
That's the thing that I was just about to say, Kev. Bit gutting for her to get out in the 90s, playing a, not one of her most favoured shots as the reverse. She's played it once today and been successful, but she's obviously trying some new things out there with a game that's not got a, it's not like they've got to win this to make finals. They're already in finals, so maybe looking to just see whether she could perfect some of those other skills. That partnership was worth 76 between Adams and Boucher.
Is it me? I can't remember. It's Bryony Smith, and it's driven by Freya Kemp.
No, it's not you, it was me. Sorry about
that's
that.
Right, that's right.
Freya Kemp, the new batter. 19 years old. 150 in the competition so far against the Sunrisers at Chelmsford. That was quite early on in the competition. Had a run of low scores since then, so...
She hits the ball hard.
She does. Smith round the wicket to Adams, who plays that nicely up to long on. She's now got to play a bit more of a senior role in this partnership through age and experience and being the batter that's in all facets. Georgia Adams, 130 for 3. Smith stays round the wicket to Kemp. Left-handed Freya Kemp, uses her feet, plays that up. Oh, it's actually a drop catch, I think. This is going to be a run out as Kemp hits the ball to Smith in her follow-through. I thought she might have cleared her, but it was a drop catch in the end, hit well. Off her own bowling, Bryony Smith drops Kemp on 1. And I thought she was going to be run out as she parried the ball next to her, but Kemp was quick enough to make it home. 131 for 3. One delivery left in the 16th. Smith to Adams then. Adams uses her feet and works that nicely up to Long on, Alice Davidson-Richards comes in, one-handed pick-up quite nonchalantly. 132 for 3 then, 4 overs to go of the Vipers' innings. What would they be looking at with 4 overs to go? Now, obviously, just losing Bouchier would hamper it slightly, you would think, but then Freya Kemp can hit a long ball when she wants to.
I was going to say, I mean, if Kemp gets going, you probably won't notice that Boucher's out, because they're very similar, aren't they? And then Georgia Adams will play probably the same time. Oh my word. That's even that by the school children's decibels today is loud. They've been amazing though, I have to say. They've created an amazing amount of atmosphere here. This could have been very much a few people.
Yeah, it could have been quite a sombre affair,
yeah,
couldn't it?
but they've really lifted. 132 for 3 then, 4 overs left. Kalia Moore with her off-spins back into the attack. Adams goes over the top, over mid-on and over Alice Davidson-Richards' head, and that is 6 runs.
Adams now motoring as well. It's a great shot to lift it over long on. There was a fielder directly underneath it, Alice Davidson-Richards, but it was way over her head as it hits the boundary advertising boards on the full. She moves to 36, Georgia Adams.
Comes in again, Kelly Moore, runs away from us. Adams sweeps behind square on the leg side. They'll run through for a single, even though it goes straight to the field. 139 for 3, and Adams moves on to 37 from just 27.
And she's playing a good hand here as Adams.
She is.
I've seen Freya Kemp stand in this position with bat over shoulder and hit a massive 6 into that stand to our left. I think it's the south stand.
Maybe.
And it was one of her very first games for the Vipers, I think, and that's when we realised that she could bat. I think we might have even picked her as a bowler, and she hit this 6, and probably from, it was on one of the middle wickets, and hit one of those white seats to our left on the full. And my goodness, we thought this girl could bat. And she's improved since then.
So here's Kalia Moore then. What's Kemp going to do here? She's on the back foot, swats that hard past Moore, who's got a painful blow on the hand there. But she did take the pace off that shot, otherwise that would have been 4 runs down towards us here in our commentary position.
Yeah,
She's okay.
She's hit the ball ever so hard as Kemp.
She does. Yes. And as you say, she's still only 19. Still developing, I suppose, still getting stronger, which is a slight worry for some of the bowlers.
We saw a picture of her last night when she played at the Commonwealth Games, and she looks like a totally different person.
Really. Kalia Moore bowls. Adams comes down the wicket, drags that along on the leg side for a single. I don't think they'll get any more than that. Adams has just taken a little while to get down to the bowler's end. I think she might be just starting to run out of puff a little bit. 38 from 28 then, Adams, and 141 for 3 in the 17th are the Vipers, having been put into bat. Looks a very, very good wicket, I have to say. The boundaries aren't that short either. It's just been some very good striking and some poor bowling. Kemp drives up towards mid-on. That's a normal shot, Freya Kemp. That's not hit bludgeoned the way she does.
That's a good word to describe it, actually. She does bludgeon the ball
yeah.
to all parts when she gets going.
Even I would worry as a bowler on my follow-through with her batting. But it's Adams on strike, 142 for 3, outside the off stump. Adams drags that away on the leg side. One bounce down to Emma Jones at deep mid-wicket. 3 Stars fielders away to our right, patrolling the boundary. She found one of them, but fortunately it fell short. And 17 overs are gone. It's been an entertaining 17 overs, that's for sure, mainly because of Maya Boucher's knock of 93 from just 55 balls, our highest ever T20 score.
Brilliant, wasn't it? Brilliant to watch, brilliant for these young fans, and hopefully to watch and admire. 143 for 3, 3 overs remaining in this Vipers innings. If they can get another 30 or so, 170 plus, that would be a very good score to go ahead and defend. Tash Farrant then returning. She's bowled all her overs from that Cromwell Road end. She's going to bowl another one from it now. This will be her 3rd. She's bowled 2 overs so far, 1 for 19. Got the wicket of Danny Wyatt in the 2nd over of the game. She's returning now to bowl at Georgia Adams. 39 not out of 29 deliveries. A full delivery. He's got the outside edge of Adams' bat. It's spooned up into the air. There's 2 fielders underneath it. One of them's Maddie Blinkhorn-Jones at short 3rd, and she takes the catch. I thought they were going to run into each other at one point. Gregory and Blinkhorn-Jones were together, but I think there must have been a last-minute mine from Maddie Blinkhorn-Jones, who dismisses the captain, Georgia Adams, who's trying to get it out into the leg side. And she's had to go. A good innings from her, 39 from 30 deliveries, and the Vipers lose their fourth, 143 for 4.
Yeah, I don't think there was a lot of calling going on there between the two fielders for a little while. Tash Farrant picks up her second wicket of the innings. Picks up Danny White in the second over for just 1. Charlie Knott went in the 7th over for just 1. Matilda Coulteen-Coleman, the 16-year-old, bowling her for bottom edge as Charlie Knott tried to sweep that away on the leg side. And then the main event of the day, Maya Bouchier, LBW's of Bryony Smith for 93, and then Georgia Adams for 39 are the 4 Vipers wickets that have fallen. And Charlie Dean, another England player, walking to the crease.
Yeah, Charlie Dean, 23 years old. Her brilliant 64 not out against the Diamonds a couple of games ago was a highlight. It was her highest T20 score as well, overtaking one that she made for Hampshire. I think it was at Basingstoke Cricket Club.
Did you play in that one?
2018. I must have done, or I must have been around. Maybe I was injured, could have been injured. Doesn't sound like me. Farrant then to continue. Round the wicket to Dean, who moves across her crease and plays that nicely into the onside and come through for a quick single as mid-wicket is open. And Davison Richards comes in from mid-on to do the fielding. 144 for 4.
Well, the Vipers now have more than they did at the Oval when they reached 142 for 6, but the Stars chased that down. That's their highest chasing score this season to date. They reached 146 in the first ball of the 19th over, so you do feel that the Vipers will need a few more yet to really test this Stars side.
Farrant comes back over the wicket to the left-handed Kemp. She was a slower ball, Yorker delivery. Kemp plays that nicely over the boundary rope, over the head of the bowler for 6. That's a brilliant shot. It was a good delivery from Farrant. Slower ball, almost a Yorker length, but Kemp was just back in her crease enough to lift it and get the elevation up and over the bowler and cleared the boundary rope by a couple of centimetres in the end. 150 for 4.
That's a
Vipers
serious
150
shot.
comes up in the 18th.
That is such a serious shot.
Kemp moves across her stumps, cuts it through the offside this time, splits the fielders between point and cover. 4 more. It races across this outfield. It's gone towards the pavilion as Gregory's tearing, well, had to tear after it, but it was just running away from her with such pace. 154 for 4 now, back-to-back boundaries, a 6 followed by a 4. Kemp's now 14 not out.
She's such a dangerous player. There was a bit of width in that ball. She went for length, but just dragged it a little too far outside off stump, allowed Kemp to free those hands. And when those hands come through the ball,
There's no stopping them.
it stays hit.
This is where Kemp's really quite dangerous for me. This is her perfect position to bat in when there's 4 or 5 overs left and she can just, and there's a platform already, she can just confidently say, right, I'm going to go from ball 1. She's taken a couple of deliveries to get going, but I feel like she's in now. A short delivery from Farrant. Kemp swats it up to long off. There's no fielder there, but she hasn't got all of it, so it will be Paige Schofield to run around to her right from long on to do the fielding. 156 for 4. Kemp 16 not out. Dean just a single to her name. She's joined her just recently.
Just banged that one into the pitch, didn't she, really? Just tried to make something happen. Kemp just flat batted that over her head.
It didn't really get up. Kemp's a tall player. Farrant again over the wicket to Kemp. Another short delivery, swatted up too long on. Is she going to get it over the hedge of Schofield? She hasn't. Schofield's dropped it though. On the boundary edge. Good running from Dean to come back. That's a poor bit of fielding from Paige Schofield. She didn't have to move an awful lot. And she's one of the best fielders, to be honest with you. She was a brilliant fielder for the Vipers when she was there. She's a brilliant fielder for the Stars. But she's dropped 2 today. 1 in the ring, and that one she's dropped Kemp at maybe a key time. It's the end of the 18th. Kemp is on 18. Vipers 158 for 4.
Yeah, 15 runs off that one as well. Yeah, 2. It is very unusual. There was a time when she was with the Vipers, her and Maya Bouchier mid-off, extra cover and mid-wicket. Just nothing got past them in the air or on the ground. Unusual to see her drop 2 on the same day.
Yeah, really, really rare. One of the Stars' best fielders, Paige Schofield.
So, Matilda Courtine-Coleman, the 16-year-old, to bowl her final over. 3 overs, 1 for 12. Wow. 16 when the ball's disappearing everywhere, coming back with figures like that. She's going to be bowling to Charlie Dean then. Slow left arm round the wicket. Dean works that from very straight out, squarish on the leg side. Even Chloe Hill had her hand up there behind the stumps, thinking it's a little bit of a risky shot playing across the line like that. Dean moves on to 2. 159 for 4. We have 11 balls left of the Southern Vipers innings. Remember, this is the last round of group matches in the Charlotte Edwards Cup. These two sides already know they're going to Derby on finals day on Saturday. We'll be there as well with live commentary on the BBC Sport website and that.
Certainly will.
Over the wicket this time to the left-hander Kemp. Kemps comes down the wicket, hits it past Courtine-Coleman down to mid-off. Alice Davidson-Richards slides into that one on the boundary in front of us. 2 runs though to Kemp, keeps her on strike, and she now has 20 from just 9 balls. Certainly keeping up the momentum of the Vipers innings. Incredible stuff this, helped by 3,000, nearly 3,000 school children cheering and chirping around the ground. Outside off stump, slapped away down to mid-on by Kemp for a single.
It's good bowling from Courtine-Coleman, got it out of Freya Kemp's arc, and she wasn't able to swing through that one.
She looks an intelligent bowler as well as a good bowler for somebody so young. 162 for 4 then. Dean on strike. 3 balls left of over number 19. Bowles. Dean works that away into the gap on the leg side. Runs the first one quickly. Will Kemp do the same? She does. Turns. Throw comes in at Dean's end. Hits Dean, I think.
Yep.
On the thigh pad as she gets herself between the ball and the stumps. I don't think she did that deliberately. I think it's just the angle she was running. 164 for 4. Dean moves on to 4 from just 3 deliveries. Coleman with 2 balls left of her spell. Bowles again, it's very full, and Dean could do no more than just work on the onside. I don't think they'll get 2 this time. It goes too quick to Alice Davidson-Richards. Does well.
Yeah, Dean immediately says no, doesn't she?
Yeah, it can't. No, there was never 2 there. 165 for 4, but it does bring Freya Kemp back on strike, and we do know that she'll do something with this ball. She won't block it. Wherever it lands, she's hitting through it. That's for sure. Coleman bowls, and she hits that hard on the up out towards Davidson-Richards. She'll keep the strike. 166 for 4, then 1 over left, and Kemp has 22 from just 11 balls. 11 balls.
It's a good shot from Kemp. Good bowling from Courtine-Coleman that last delivery actually, because she had to bowl it into the wicket, so it wasn't in the hitting arc or the length that allows Freya Kemp to get up and over the ball. So it was a good length delivery into the pitch. She's completed her 4 overs. If you're enjoying the song, the singing by the school children, they're singing Sweet Caroline for you. Courtine-Coleman finishes her 4 overs, 1 for 19. She's bowled brilliantly actually for those returns. An economy of 4.96.
It's a very enthusiastic sing-along.
It is. They're loving it, aren't they? As the sun starts to come out around the ground. Smith then to bowl the last from the Cromwell Road end. She's in Kemp's hitting arc as she clears her front leg, but she doesn't play it with any real timing out to deep mid-wicket. It goes all the way along the floor though to clear more out there. They'll collect 1 more to the total. Kemp's just coming down to have a conversation with Charlie Dean. Maybe just to say that she's bowling darts at the stumps, FYI. And that's what she's always bowled. There's not much change there. Smith then to Dean, who moves across her crease and works it nicely into the leg side. They'll want 2 here. Smith's after it. So is Schofield at deep mid-wicket. They come through for 2 nicely. That's great running between the 2 of them. They set off straight away, and there was 3 fielders converging. The bowler Smith And then the two fielders out in the deep on the leg side came together, but it was perfectly placed just outside the inner ring. 2 more to Dean, she moves to 6. Vipers 168 for 4. Smith then 2 continue to Dean. Reverse sweep this time in front of square on the offside. Beats Emma Jones. Kalia Moore comes round to her right to do the fielding at deep cover. Another 2 to the total, another 2 to Dean. They've got that 170, the Vipers, 170 for 4. Dean's now on 8. Kemp with her on 25. 3 deliveries remaining. A shorter one this time from Smith, pulled into the leg side by Dean. Finds Paige Schofield at deep mid-wicket. He throws that wildly over the head of Chloe Hill on the return throw. Doesn't cost anything. Good backing up by Danny Gregory. 171 for 4. Left-handed Kemp then faces Smith. A ring field on the offside, and she's got something in her eye as she's running up there, so she had to stop. I assume it's a bug of some sort. She's asking Charlie Dean very nicely to have a look in her eye and fish something out of it, which was... Charlie Dean said, I didn't really think I'd be doing that today, fishing something out of your eye, but the 2 players of opposition. Smith in again. Kemp swats that up too long off. And Dean's coming back for the second. No, she's not. Yes, she is. She's going to be run out. Charlie Dean going for the second. I think that was the right decision to get Kemp on strike for the last ball. She sacrificed herself as Charlie Dean. Selfishly so. But I think that's the right decision. Trying to get your big hitter Kemp, who's 23 not out at the moment, on strike. And Dean was run out, coming back for the second after a couple of moments of hesitation. And she's on her way back. And Emily Windsor will come out for the final delivery, which should be the final. Is there 2 more to come?
2 more, yeah.
There's 2 more to come.
Yeah.
She'll come up for the final 2 deliveries of this over.
She runs quick between the wickets.
Yeah, she will be coming back for the second. I think she's just going to have a conversation with Freya here and say, I'm going. Whatever you want to do, I'm running. That's my role here. 173 for 5 now. Kemp moves across her stumps and whacks that into the leg side. It's a massive 6. It's over the scoreboard. It's huge, Freya Kemp. She's walking off. Does that mean that was the final delivery?
Oh yeah, the scoreboard was wrong.
Yeah, we're 1 ball short, but the last ball's been whacked for 6. A brilliant shot. The elevation that she's got on that to clear the... Well, she's gone over the scoreboard, over the boundary by 10 metres or so. She's walked straight off Freya Kemp. As soon as she hit it, she knew it had gone for 6. They finish, the Vipers, 179 for 5 off of their 20. What a brilliant innings that has been by the Southern Vipers team. The complete contrast, actually, to the game against Sparks on Sunday, where they were bowled out very cheaply. So some of the players have fired. Maya Bouchier, the standout, with her 93. Her highest score of 93 or 56 deliveries. The partnership with George Adams worth 76. Adams made 39. A little blast of Freya Kemp at the end there as well. And she made 30 not out.
Hello, everybody, at the First Central County Ground in Hove. Tom, Lou, and Jack the Lad here for More Radio Breakfast. Lou currently in the corner, just kitting up ahead of the game.
Ow.
So, Jack, what we got going on this summer? Tell everyone.
It's been a busy few months. We've given away thousands of pounds in cold hard cash, giving away amazing family passes to some of the best attractions all across good old Sussex by the sea, and holidays to places like Barbados. I mean Barbados, for goodness sake. And listen, it don't stop there. It's going to be a big, big summer. Have us on every morning right across Sussex, 6 till 10 weekday mornings.
Right, Lou, how are we getting on? Are we all kitted up? Are we ready?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm nearly there. Just wasn't sure about this.
Yeah, that's a mask.
Yeah, just...
Get it right on your face. It smells good in there.
More of what you love. More radio.
Hello everybody at the First Central County Ground in Hove. Tom, Lou and Jack the Lad here for More Radio Breakfast. Lou currently in the corner just kitting up ahead of the game.
Ow.
So Jack, what we got going on this summer? Tell everyone.
It's been a busy few months. We've given away thousands of pounds in cold hard cash, giving away amazing family passes to some of the best attractions all across good old Sussex by the sea, and holidays to places like Barbados. I mean Barbados, for goodness sake. And listen, it don't stop there. It's going to be a big, big summer. Have us on every morning right across Sussex, 6 till 10 weekday mornings.
Right, Lou, how are we getting on? Are we all kitted up? Are we ready?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm nearly there. Just wasn't sure about this.
Yeah, that's a mask.
Yeah, just...
Get it right on your face. It smells good in there.
More of what you love, more radio.
Just too short for too long, really, especially at the front half of that game and the power play. So she'll be looking at that. She'll be looking, hopefully, at her sort of young Courtine Coleman and saying, hey, we could have bowled more like Tilly. We might have been a little bit better off. So bowling fuller at the stumps more often than not. And those are sort of the main areas that they'd look to improve on in the field. But don't get me wrong, these players, they can bat for the Stars. They bat all the way down. I mean, carded to open is Smith and Schofield, two big hitters of the ball. And Schofield definitely scored the majority of the runs at the Oval. She made 50 against the Vipers at the Oval, along with Dunkley, who's not playing today, being rested, we assume, before the finals. And she averages 54 in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, does Paige Schofield, in 2024, and she's got the highest strike rate of 141. So, and that's across everyone in this competition. And for her and Bryony Smith, if they get going, they could make this look quite a small total. And they bat all the way down. They've got, well, Emma Jones made 30 from 15. She's carded to come in at 6. She can hit a mean ball as well. So they're a strong outfit, the Stars. So don't write them off.
That's very wise words from Charlotte Taylor there. The Southern
You won't hear that very often.
Well, no, I do. I hear it all the time, and I hear it more and more. I'm Kevin James, and we are very shortly going to bring you commentary of that Stars reply. You're right; they are a very strong outfit, and one sort of. When you look back at the history of this competition, which is not that long, it started in 2021. The Stars won that edition. But they are a side that you do feel probably should have done better. The Vipers have won the last 2 editions. We are watching 2 sides, the only 2 sides that have ever got their hands on the Charlotte Edwards Trophy. But you do feel that, person for person, the Stars, not just maybe in this competition, but certainly in the Rachel Hayhoe, the 50 over competition, probably should do better.
Yep, they should. And sometimes I just feel that they get they've got such good players, but it's about them all working together and being in the right position. Sometimes I look at players and I'm like, why are they batting there, or why are they bowling in this situation? Like, I think you can get better out of them if you use them properly. So that's just my sort of opinion. And we're going to start here, and we're almost at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you're having your lunch, then please enjoy. Freya Davies is going to start from the commentary end to Bryony Smith, who's pulling into the leg side. It's short. That was a consistent from the Stars, and it's been a starter for Freya Davies. It's been pulled into the leg side for 4. Smith starts with a boundary. 4 off the first. Too short from Freya Davies. on that occasion. I think that's what Captain George Adams will be saying to her, and saying we've got to be fuller. They made that mistake, the Stars. They were too short too often in the power play. Let's see if Davies can rectify. Fuller outside the off stump this time, and it's through the gap on the offside. Too full and too wide on this occasion. Charlie Dean is after it, and it will go again for a boundary. So they've started well here, the Stars, back-to-back boundaries. Bryony Smith, the captain Bryony Smith, leading this chase for her side. She had a wicket with the ball. She got the big wicket of Bouchier to sort of get them, or try and get them a hold back on the game earlier on. She got 2 back-to-back boundaries to start here. And that's too short and too wide and cracked through the offside. Will it be a 3rd consecutive boundary? Windsor's after it. Can she catch up with it? Yes, she can. She pulls it back in just inside the rope, and they'll pick up 2. I think umpires might just check. No, looks good. Umpire Fiona Richards says no. That's good for me. 10 for no loss, the Stars, after just 3 deliveries. They're chasing, remember, a mammoth score of 179 set by the Vipers earlier on this morning and this afternoon. Davies in again, and she's beaten the outside edge of Smith's bat. I'm not quite sure how it's missed the stumps, to be honest with you. It's very close to Bryony Smith's off stump as she's played all round it. It's a better length, a better line from Davies. Freya Davies obviously moving this year from the South East Stars to the Southern Vipers. 10 wickets in this competition she has. And she bowls to Smith, who's short and wide outside the off stump again. It's cracked through extra cover. It will be another boundary for Smith. It's a beautiful shot all the way along the floor. It's too short, it's too wide from Freya Davies. And this first over for the Vipers has been expensive. 14 for no loss. 14, all 14 coming off the bat of Bryony Smith. If you're watching that again on the live picture feed, you can see now from Freya Davies, too much room for Smith through the offside. Change in field, 2 fielders outside of the circle, 1 at deep cover, and long on's in the circle now. And that fielder has been found at extra cover, or has it? No, it's been hit too well, too wide again from Davies, full and wide, and it's beaten Windsor to her right. She's one of the quickest out on the outfield, Emily Windsor, but she's been beaten on her right. 18 from the first, an expensive first over from Freya Davies. And the South East Stars, their reply is underway here at Hove. It's being enjoyed by, we're told, close to 3,000 school children. A few of them must have gone to the toilet in the break, as a few of the seats are empty. Might have gone to get an ice cream. But there's still lots of them here enjoying the cricket, hopefully cheering on their team, the home team, the Southern Vipers today. Lindsay Smith then, the left arm slow orthodox bowler. She will take the new ball from the Cromwell Road end, 29 years old. 9 wickets in this competition so far, best of 3 for 9 against the Thunder up at Old Trafford just a week ago. Just over a week ago, should I say, and she's into Schofield, who's facing her first delivery, cuts it into the offside and can't beat Charlie Dean at extra cover, who does the fielding inside the circle. 1 more to the total, 19 for no loss. Schofield's off the mark straight away. Smith just making sure she gets her fielders in the right place. Her 2 fielders out of this inside at the inner ring, deep cover and deep square, well in front of square actually. And Bryony Smith pulling that one too short, too straight from Lindsay Smith. Pulled into the leg side, pulled for 4. They've not started well here, kept the Vipers.
No, too much width from Freya Davies, wasn't there, in the first over? But this is just proving that this is a really good wicket, isn't it? It's very true. The ball's done little. It's hardly moved off the seam. It's hardly turned. It's come on nicely for the batters, and they're enjoying it. And there's some good batters on show from both sides. It
can be dangerous when they get going, some of these players. Bryony Smith being one of them. That's better from Smith. Full and left alone by Bryony Smith outside the off stump. Goes through to wicketkeeper Rihanna Southby. 23 for no loss. Smith has 22 of them. Smith to Smith. Oh, I thought she's got an inside edge, has she? She's now got a stumping. Rihanna Southby takes the barrels off. Brilliant take. She thought she had her caught behind. She's asking what dismissal she has been given. Umpire Fiona Richards at square leg said she's out stumped. As the barrels were whipped off quick as a flash by Rihanna Southby, and she's so aware, isn't she, behind the stumps. Ridiculous take. She thought she had her out caught behind. It was not given, but then Smith must have dragged her foot outside of the crease. Well, she's wandering actually. If you see that live picture feed now, she just wandered out of her crease, and Southby still had the ball in her hands, and the bells were whipped off. So great piece of work by Southby behind the stumps, and the Stars lose their first, 23 for 1.
Yeah, I don't think she quite knew where the ball was, Bryony Smith. The ball's actually come back wickedly with the arm, and then she's almost taken off for a single, not quite sure where the ball is. She didn't realise it was in the gloves. Rihanna Southby, we've talked about her so much over the last few weeks about just how quick she is on the feet with the glove work. She's just so alert.
She really is, and that's her. I think she was telling me it will be her 11th dismissal, so she's just, well, I say she's just overtaken Sarah Bryce. Before today, they were neck and neck. Let me just see whether Sarah Bryce took any, or for the Blaze. Yep, no, she didn't. So the Southby will now be the highest dismissal taker, or has the most dismissals in this competition for a wicket-keeper.
Brilliant, good stuff. Well, she deserves it. She's been in top form. Tash Farrant, left-hander in, and that's a straight delivery from Smith. It's your over. I've taken over. I shouldn't have done.
That's okay. It was a dot ball nonetheless.
Oof.
Tash Farrant finding herself batting up the order more often than not these days. 28-year-old. She's back in her crease, pushed back by Smith. A good length delivery and cut to point. Freya Davies there does the fielding. That's the end of Smith's first. There was a couple of looseners in there, but a good over in the end, only conceding 5 and taking the wicket of Bryony Smith through some great work behind the stumps from Southby. 23 for 1 after 2 are the Stars.
Yeah, not surprising, Freya Davies out of the attack really, but then you could probably say that with Bryony Smith out of the way, she might have warranted another over, but even so, I think the Vipers just you do have to do something in T20 cricket just to stop momentum, don't you?
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether they bring in Charlie Dean so often for the left-handers, and there's a left-hander out there now in Farrant, whether that's another thing that's come into the mind of George Adams, taking the ball away from Farrant.
So she's going to be bowling to Paige Schofield. She'll have done that a lot in the nets, not necessarily in matches, because Paige was a Viper between 2018 and 2022 before she made the move to the Stars to get a bit more batting in, really, and she did make the most of it, hasn't she? No doubt about that. She works that ball to mid-wicket, fielded by Bouchier, and there is no run. It's got a couple of 50s in this competition, 73 in the win over Thunder and 50 not out, both those not outs actually, in the win over the Sunrisers at Lords. Sweeps from fairly straight, and she's gone. Oh, Charlie Dean strikes with her second delivery, and it looked out. We're not quite in line, but just the way Schofield got low and tried to sweep that one, she always looked as though she was a candidate to be LBW, and she's gone. And very quickly the Stars have lost 2 wickets. They're now 23 for 2, and we are in the third over.
Yeah, it was just a straight full delivery from Dean. Not really anything wrong with it. Not really anything wrong with the shot, other than it was too straight to sweep maybe. But quite often you see Schofield sweep, and you would say that that was just a sort of a bog standard shot for her, and she's just missed it on this occasion. So she's not had a great day. Paige Schofield dropped a couple of catches in the outfield and not really troubled the scorers, and she falls for just a single run in this game here, or this innings should we say, for the Stars. So they've lost their second now. 23 for 2, just stumbling here, the Stars.
Yeah, 23 without loss, 23 for 2. Paige Schofield not exactly showing the Vipers what they've been missing on this occasion. New batter for the Stars is Kalia Moore. You say
Kalia Moore.
Is it more Kalia?
I think so.
Could well be. Right-handed batter anyway, flighted by Dean, driven back to her by Moore, the 21-year-old. Saw her bowl some off breaks earlier in the Vipers innings, 3 overs, none for 33. Needs to get some of those back and then some in this big chase that's worked on the onside, and there will be no run. Just a reminder, the Vipers making 179 for 5, their 4th highest ever T20 score. That goes back to their formation in the 2016, or back to 2016 at the start of the Kia Super League. Flighted again, more drives pleasantly down the ground. There's Charlie Knott fielding below us, keeps it down to just a single. 24 for 2 then the Stars.
It's a good shot, wasn't it? Nicely controlled. Played with the pleasant straight bat all the way up towards us. Kalia Moore with the Southern Brave again for the 100 this coming summer. We'll play with some of these players in the Vipers that may so often transfer across to the Southern Brave as well.
That'll be starting a little bit earlier this year, the 100, won't it? There's Dean, she's round the wicket and driving is Tash Farron straight to Bouchier. That's extra cover, and that's the end of the 3rd over. So after that blistering start by the Stars, they're just being pegged back here. They are 24 for 2, having smashed 18 in the 1st over in their pursuit of 180 for victory.
I'm going to see Lindsay Smith to continue. She so often bowls a couple, if not more, in the power play. She's going to start her 2nd. She's got the wicket of Bryony Smith. Fantastic bit of work behind the stumps from Southby. Got rid of Bryony Smith, bowled by Lindsay Smith. And she's going to bowl her 2nd one now. She's having a conversation with George Adams, the captain, about the plans to Moore, who's waiting for her now. Smith round the wicket to Moore, who's trying to hoik that into the leg side and falls just in front of Charlie Knott there at mid-wicket, who parries it forward, but it quite easily could have carried as she's tried to drag it from outside off stump into the leg side.
Painful blow on the hand there.
Concedes no run, however. A full delivery from Moore goes up and over Bouchier. Has she got all of it? Bouchier drops it, I think, in the end. It hung in the air for a long time. Maya Bouchier was running back from mid-on to collect the ball, and I think she might have got a hand to it. We'll have a little look on the replay when it comes up on the live picture feed, but 2 have been conceded. 2 to Moore, she moves to 3. Stars 26 for 2. Better length delivery from Smith. Moore tries to give herself a little bit of room, but can't beat Freya Davis at point on the offside.
Yeah, I thought she'd hit it better than she had, actually. I was surprised that Bouchier got as close as she did at mid-on. Running back from mid-on anyway.
It just sort of dropped, hung in the air for a while and then dropped suddenly. Field change, long on goes back. Deep cover, Danny White comes into the circle. And Moore uses her feet, drives through the offside pleasantly. That'll be 4. Splits extra cover in mid-off nicely. All the way along the floor, beautiful shot as Moore uses her feet to Smith. And picks up another boundary for the Stars. It'll be Moore's first, she moves to 7.
Well, she's only got a high score of 6 this year in this competition, but the way she's playing, and she's playing a 9th game, but the way she's playing, she looks a lot more confident than that, doesn't she?
She does. She's obviously been going out there with a clear role, a clear plan. Well, they've got to. If they're going to chase down 179, they're going to have to go some, the Stars. 30 for 2 here at Hove. Smith in again and angles the ball into the right-hander, and well fielded off her own bowling as Moore wanted a single, but Farrant sends her back. There was no single there as Knott was also coming in from mid-wicket to cut off the angle. Moore uses her feet across the stumps and tries to parry it round to the leg side and doesn't get any of it. Not called a wide, obviously, because she's used the crease laterally to create the angle, but she misses it. 30 for 2 after 4. A steady start. A couple of wickets falling. That of Smith and Schofield, 2 big wickets really for the Stars. Apologies if the screaming children above us. I think there are some above us as well. I think when the volunteers from the Sussex Cricket Foundation came round in the break and were sort of circling around the ground, and I think they were waving to people, so I think there's also more fans, potentially more children above us here where we are in the media centre.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of creating some atmosphere, that's for sure. So Freya Davis is back into the attack after her first over. The opening over of the South East Stars reply went for 18. And she's going to bowl round the wicket to Tash Farrant, who's yet to get off the mark after 3 deliveries. Yes, when you look to the pavilion away to our left, it looks very calm, very quiet. It's like a quiet area on a train. And then everywhere else is...
Yeah, the silent zone, or whatever they call it on the train.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a sign up saying... But in fact, you don't need to. Normally pavilions are quite a quiet area anyway, but...
It's an unwritten rule.
Contrast, yeah, in complete contrast to most of the rest of the ground where, as you can hear, very noisy indeed. So, Freya Davies is round the wicket then, right arm over. Bowles wrapped on the pad is Farrant, but it's going down the leg side. So just to repeat, the last round of games today for all these regional sides, and then we've got the finals day on Saturday, live commentary on the BBC Sport website and app of the 2 semi-finals, which the first gets underway at 11 o'clock. I think we're waiting for confirmation of the timings that the 4 teams play, and we know the 4 teams. Just waiting for who plays at 4 and then plays later in the afternoon, and then the final in the evening. Farrant tries to pull that away on the leg side, doesn't time it, goes to Dean at mid-wicket, and there is no run. So just to repeat, the Blaze, these 2 teams, and the Central Sparks are the 4 teams contesting the 2024 Charlotte Edwards Cup Finals Day, and it's the first time in its 4th year that there's 4 teams at Finals Day rather than just 3. Now it's a nice shot down the ground by Farrant. She's got hold of that one, and that's 1 bounce over mid-on for 4 runs.
That's a good shot, wasn't it? Just lifted elegantly over the infield and dropped just in front of the boundary rope. I thought for a second there it might have carried for 6, or it was going to carry for 6, but drops just inside the boundary rope. And Farrant, her elevation up to the top of the order this season for the first time. It's really paying off, actually. She's made some good scores in the Rachel, batting up the order. Suffered a little bit of injury during this competition, had a sore calf and a bit of concussion. She had a nasty collision with the ball as it came back in from a return throw a game earlier on in the competition.
34 for 2 in the 5th. Here's Davis. Bowles slightly shorter this time. Farrant rocks back off the back foot, hits it square on the offside, half fielded by Smith, diving to her left, and Danny Wyatt sweeps up behind her. 35 for 2, so 149 I think that is to win. I can't quite see, there's a pillar in front of me. I don't really want to do the maths because I'm not very good at it. It is on the board, but it's hiding. Oh no, 145.
145, yeah.
Actually it's on the other board as well, so that's good news. Switches to over the wicket does Davis, and Kaylee Moore hits that in the air, and it's dropped at mid-on by Charlie Knott. Difficult catch. She had to move smartly to her left, but she got both hands to it, reaching out, and the ball went to ground. Kaylee Moore not quite getting the elevation she wanted. 36 for 2.
It would have been a very smart catch if she'd taken that one. Charlie Knott. Maybe even saved a boundary though.
Yeah, I suppose that's the main thing in the power play overs, isn't it? As Farrant hits it on the up along the ground to mid-on. They'll take a quick single. Adams throws, misses the stumps at the bowler's end. And Farrant moves on to 6 from 8 deliveries. She'll keep the strike, and that is 5 overs gone. And the South East Stars replying to that Vipers high total of 179 for 5, a 37 for 2.
Yeah, these 2 teams and the Sparks and the Blaze playing against each other, we can possibly assume that if the Vipers were to go on and win this, then, and the Blaze were to beat the Sparks, that the table would be stood still with the Blaze topping it, and the Vipers, unless they win with a bonus point, would still be bottom. Even if they won here, so they'd have to win with a bonus point and with a decent net run rate as well to change the standings. Smith to continue a 3rd in the power play. It's shot by Tash Farrant. It's been lifted over Bouchier. No, it hasn't. At mid-off, she's taken the catch. Great catch by Bouchier, running backwards. Those sort of flybys that just almost drop over your head are one of the hardest to take, and she's done brilliantly to take that. She's having a good day, Maya Bouchier. Gets rid of Farrant. Stars lose their 3rd, 37 for 3.
Yeah, that's great effort, isn't it? One of those where you can trip quite easily, can't you? Sort of falling over your feet as you try to reach the ball. She just lifted it rather than hit it, Tash Farrant, which in the end didn't give her quite the distance she wanted. It's almost like she backed herself to get the ball out of the middle of the bat and just get it over Bouchier's head rather than go through with a full flow of the bat. Really good piece of fielding there from Maya Bouchier over her head. They're always the most difficult catches to take on the 25-yard circle. 3 down, 37, the South East Stars, and they're starting to struggle a bit.
Yeah, they are a little bit, aren't they? As this is a bit of a change to the card. Alexa Stonehouse, the new batter, replaces Tash Farron at the crease. She was carded to bat at 9 initially. She's had a change of heart, so she's jumped above Chloe Hill, Maddie Blinkhorn-Jones, Alice Davidson-Richards and Emma Jones. Jumped above them all and been elevated to number 5, Alexa Stonehouse. Opened the bowling earlier on today, and now she's got a job to do with the bat. Smith round the wicket to her, and she's back in the crease. This Stonehouse tries to work it off her legs, gets wrapped on the pad, and there is no run as it balloons out to Charlie Knott at short mid-wicket.
Just wonder if they're giving some of these batters some practice now.
Yeah, it might well be on the mind, as that's a shorter delivery from Smith and played into the offside this time by Stonehouse, and finds Freya Davies at point.
I mean, she's only got a top score of 7 not out in T20 cricket for the Stars.
So a little inside edge this time from Stonehouse, almost hits the stumps behind her. Comes off the legs of Southby and goes into the onside. There is no run as Southby's out quickly from behind the stumps to pick up that one. Full delivery from Smith, driving as Stonehouse pleasantly actually past Charlie Dean at extra cover. Beats her to her right, and they'll pick up one as George Adams comes round to her left from mid-off to do the fielding. Stonehouse off the mark. She's on 1, Moore still there on 8. Some youth out there for the Stars. 38 for 3. And that's trying to be driven over the top. Nice easy catch from George Adams. There's a full delivery from Smith. Moore tried to lift it over the infield and just hit it straight up in the air. And a nice easy catch from George Adams. And the Stars are really faltering here. 4 down now.
3 wickets for Lindsay Smith.
How often do we say that?
Well, I'm just having a look at Lindsay Smith's best bowling for the Vipers. 4 for 10. She's on course for that.
Yeah, 3 for 9 against the Thunder she got earlier on, about a week or so ago, up at Old Trafford. She's got 3 for already today. She's into her 3rd over.
So that's the end of the power play, isn't it? So 38 for 4, and the Vipers were 50 for 1. Now, Alice Davidson-Richards wouldn't normally come in behind a couple of those batters, would she? I mean,
You wouldn't think so, no.
She'd be high. I mean, she was down to bat at 5, so she's dropped 1. But she has England experience. In fact, the last of her 8 T20 internationals was September last year against Sri Lanka. So, do you think she's out? Is she out of the running now for England? Do you think she's had a moment?
Yeah, I think so. She might still be in their thoughts for Test cricket. I don't know. She struggled with a bit of injury recently as well, so who knows what England are thinking. Sometimes they'll see something in somebody and bring them into the fold, and that's what they did with her the first time. They just saw something in her and said, we're going to throw you into a Test match, and she made 100 on her debut. So.
Is it me? Sorry.
It is.
Charlie Dean down the
Right.
next side. Sorry, I was looking because she's 30 years old. She's at the non-striker's end at the moment. Alice Davidson-Richards. It's Stonehouse facing. Charlie Dean starts with a wide down the leg side, comes in again and flighted and beaten outside off stump. Again, what's good about Charlie Dean is the clever changes of pace. Having fired that one in, got the line slightly wrong, but that one was just floated out there. Stonehouse drawn into the drive, playing and missing. Again, might be a little bit of turn there, a fraction, just a fraction.
Well, if anyone's going to extract turn here, I think it will be Charlie Dean. She's a big turner of the ball.
Yeah. Certainly the ball that beat her outside the off stump went on with the arm. 39 for 4 here, the Stars, and can't find an angle there. Stonehouse as she plays that out into the covers. And yeah, I'm just watching that ball back again that wrapped Stonehouse high on the pads, couple of balls ago. That definitely gripped on the surface. Dean runs away from us again over the wicket and stroked out into the covers. Again, there's no gap. Fielded by Emily Windsor, who just did a bit of running practice coming out to bat in the last ball or two. I think it was just last ball, wasn't it? She came out. Slightly quicker, wrapped on the pad, did it? Or just went through the shot. Taken cleanly by Southby, but this is a really good over here from Charlie Dean. In fact, it's called late by the umpire, and it's actually a maiden from Charlie Dean. 39 for 4. No, there's one run off it. It was wide, of course, in the first ball. 39 for 4.
Yeah, you can hear some more screeching. I knew that was going to happen as the countdown happened. They were saying make some noise, and they certainly did that, did the school children here. Sussex Cricket Foundation inviting 3,000 school children here today. And you can hear every single one of them now.
They've also just had their lunch, so they've got a second wind.
They have. Stonehouse just struggling, just 1 from 9. I think the majority of the strike rates for the Vipers were around or above 100. Stonehouse just struggling slightly. Well, it's still the same over.
Oh, they've gone back.
Now she's just bowled a wide, so you're going to have to bowl that one again. Is it down the leg side from Dean?
They went to change over.
And then obviously was called back by the scorers, I suppose.
40 for 4 then. So this should be the last ball of this over. It's worked out square on the offside, and for the second time, they're going to change ends at the end of a Charlie Dean over.
That will be the end of the 7th. We can confirm that now. 7 overs gone, 40 for 4. Yeah, they completely almost changed over, but then maybe confirmation from the scorer to say there was still 1 ball remaining, of which Charlie Dean bowled a wide and then set to re-bowl that one. So they had 2 extra balls for the price of 1. And maybe that's what the school children were screaming about. So excited to see some more cricket. 40 for 4 here, the Stars, in response to the mammoth total of 179 set by the Vipers earlier on this morning into this afternoon. Captain George Adams passes her hat to umpire Treadwell. She will bowl her first over of the day, over number 8. Got the ball in her hand. We're outside the power play now, of course. We can have 4 fielders outside of that 25-yard inner ring. And they're stationed quite straight, so a ring field on the offside, long off, long on, and then 2 deep on the leg side as well. As Davidson Richards works that back of a length delivery into that region, and Charlie Knotts at deep mid-wicket. And we'll pick up 1 more to the total, 41 for 4 the Stars. Davidson Richards off the mark with a single.
It's quite clearly Alexa Stonehouse has just been put out there to have some batting practice for the weekend, isn't it? I mean, she shouldn't be up there this high normally.
No. She has played... She played a little bit of a blinder in the 100, I remember, a game, Trent Rockets versus the Oval last year. She came out and hit 2 or 3 boundaries at the end there, so she can bat, Stonehouse. And she's just played this one back to Adams, a diving catch low to her left, caught and bowled. She's claimed it, Adams. And they're just having a discussion, the umpires say whether it carried. I think it's carried. It was just propped back by Stonehouse. She hasn't really committed to the shot whatsoever. She's still staying there, Stonehouse, but it was a brilliant catch diving forward and to her left by Adams. Don't know about you, Kev, but that looked like it carried to me.
I thought they're going to say not out. See, I don't think Georgia Adams is a cheat.
No.
And I think my first reaction was, how on earth did she get there? But actually, she did, and she's having a word with the umpire now. I genuinely.
The umpires have got to have, you know, sort of concrete viewing that it's bounced before. So Stonehouse survives then. Adams in again and played nicely by Stonehouse back to the bowler Adams, who's now probably got a bit of a bee in her bonnet if she storms back to her mark. And there is no run. That ring field remains on the offside. Lindsay Smith's now in it. Short mid-wicket though. On the leg side, she's swinging into the leg side. Is Stonehouse, a slog sweep to a full delivery, and she'll pick up 1 more. The fielder runs round to her left. Charlie not out there to do the fielding. 1 more to the total.
So that was James Treadwell at the other end. I'll tell you what, if he'd taken a catch like that and he'd been turned down, he'd have been livid.
Adams then straight onto the pads of Davidson Richards, who nudges that into the leg side, and Not is busy again. Comes in off the rope to do the filtering. Another 1 to the total. I'm just wondering whether he consulted the square leg umpire, Fiona Richards, who then had a better view of whether it bounced or not, because he would have had his back.
Yeah.
Or Adams would have had her back to Treadwell as the standing umpire, so whether that was the conversation, and umpire Richards said no. We'll know a bit more after the game. It's a full delivery, straight, but Stonehouse tries to swat it into the leg side and finds Smith at short mid-wicket. So an eventful over for the Vipers. Captain George Adams doesn't look particularly happy at the end of it. And the Stars survive only 4 down, 43 for 4.
Yeah, you know, it's always difficult replays, aren't they, really? They're never always conclusive when catches are literally taken millimetres off the turf. But I always thought she'd got there. Having taken it, I thought, wow. But it always looked as though she'd got her fingers underneath it. But I don't blame Alexa Stonehouse one iota for not walking off.
No.
You know, when something is a bit in doubt, you don't just walk off. But as I say, I don't think Georgia Adams is a cheat in any shape or form. 43 for 4 then, 8 gone. Still 137 needed by the Stars as Charlie Dean starts a new over and bowls to Alice Davidson-Richards. Again, it's a wide down the leg side. Charlie Dean's got a bit of a problem with that, opening up. That first delivery, a little flatter. She's just getting it slightly wrong at the moment. 44 for 4. Dean bowls again, flighted, and that's a perfect full defensive there from Alice Davidson-Richards. It literally balls just landed at her feet and has not moved. So Bryony Smith for 22 off 9, Paige Schofield 1, Tash Farrant 6, Kalia Moore 8, the 4 wickets that have fallen for the Stars as Dean bowls again. Oh, she's bowled! Oh, she's played all round that, has Alice Davidson-Richards. She came forward, wasn't very committed on the shot, and somehow she's come across that, and the ball's gone between bat and pad, and that's the 5th wicket down. Davidson-Richards goes for 2. It's 44 for 5.
That's a brilliant delivery from Dean. I think it was the flight that did her, drew her into the shot. She's got a big front stride generally, Alice Davidson-Richards. She just props forward and it's just beaten her. She's played round it, like you say, Kev, with an angled bat, and the off stump was just pushed back and the bail's dislodged. She's been bowled, and only for 2 runs or 4 deliveries. So again, no real partnerships being able to build. Those are the key for the Vipers, partnerships building throughout their innings, and there's not been one significant one at the moment between any batters for the South East Stars. 5 down they are.
I've just watched that replay twice, and to be honest, she couldn't have been further away from a good length straight ball than she was. Absolutely miles away from playing that.
And it's just when that bat comes through at an angle, you're giving yourself half an opportunity, well, not even half an opportunity to hit the ball. You've got to come through with a nice straight bat to at least defend it, because she wasn't trying to hit the ball, she was just trying to keep it out. So yeah, maybe a little bit of a technical error there from Davidson-Richards.
So Emma Jones is the new batter for the Stars, the 21-year-old who's 1 over, I'm afraid, started. Oh, she's bowled first ball. Charlie Dean's on a hat-trick. She's given herself some room, miles outside leg stump, Emma Jones, and the off stump for the 2nd time in 2 balls has been knocked back. And Charlie Dean takes the celebrations from the rest of the Vipers in the field. And as we wait for the new batter to walk out, we can think about a possibility of a Charlie Dean hat-trick.
That'll be exciting, won't it, for all these young fans in the ground today. Emma Jones just trying to give herself way too much room there. She's miles away from the ball. Her left foot, which you'd say to all the kids playing cricket, you get towards the ball, or if you're going to go backwards, you sort of go down the pitch rather than away to the leg side, and it's almost on the wide line, it's so far away. Her weight going backwards, nowhere near the ball, and Charlie Dean's got 2 in a row. And the 3rd one will be bowled at former Viper Chloe Hill, returning to the side, keeping wicket in absence of Georgia Redmayne. Comes out at number 8. Stars now 44 for 6. She'll have to face this hat-trick delivery from the informed Charlie Dean.
There's only 1 hat-trick before from a Vipers player, and that was Tash Farrant against Lancashire Thunder back in 2018. Can Charlie Dean be the 2nd as she comes in and bowls, and Chloe Hill's forward? Nope, she's well forward. She's making sure there, Chloe Hill.
She didn't want to be the victim of a Charlie Dean hat-trick, and nor would I, to be perfectly honest with you.
Would she not let you...
No, she wouldn't actually. Would never let me hear the end of it, and I live with the girl.
Comes in Charlie Dean and bowls, flighted. Chloe Hill drives, goes back to Dean, and the score remains on 44 for 6. This is the sort of performance from the Vipers that in a way, you want to save for finals day, don't you, really? It's been almost a complete performance. Not quite finished yet, but it feels like the game's done. Pulling that away from fairly straight Chloe Hill. Plays that quite nicely. Maya Boucher's running. Is that Maya Boucher out there in the deep?
It is.
Yeah, that deep square leg. Fields. And the batters run 2. So the Stars are in all sorts of trouble here at 45 for 6. They'll have to be careful, even if, well, maybe they're not that bothered. Let's put it that way, of where the Vipers finish. Because the way the Vipers are winning this game, they're probably going to get the bonus point.
Unless they want to lose really badly and hoping that the Sparks lose, and maybe they want to play the Vipers in the semi.
Well, maybe there's some tactics going on there.
Maybe they prefer to play the Vipers in the semi than they would the other 2 teams. Who knows? Probably not.
Well, the
Probably.
Stars. So the Stars have got Dunkley to come back, haven't they?
Yes.
At least.
And then we would probably see Rhiannon McDonald-Gay come back into this side as well. I think she's just being rested. Phoebe Franklin's another possibility. George Redmayne almost certainly would come back in because she's been brought over for this competition.
So there'll be.
So there will be some
greatly
changes.
strengthened,
George
yeah.
Elwes would come back for the Vipers, and you would assume Lauren Bell as well would be back available.
Yeah.
So there will be some changes. Mary Taylor's one of those changes for the Vipers today, coming back into this side to replace Lauren Bell. She hasn't played since the Oval, since these last 2 teams met. She's in to Chloe Hill now, and she's beaten Chloe Hill on the outside edge, and Rihanna Southby takes the bails off. But Chloe Hill is firmly in her crease.
Chloe Hill didn't actually play T20 cricket for the Vipers last year. She played in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint. Not in this competition.
No, Nick Fulton was over for the Vipers last year. Take the gloves and batted at 3 for that competition last year. Taylor in again, a good length delivery, driven nicely by Hill. Finds Captain George Adams at mid-off.
So does Chloe actually have a contract here at the Stars?
Yes.
She does now, yeah.
Yep. She hasn't been signed for by Surrey. Surrey have actually signed 10 players already for 2025. I can go through those for you in a moment if you like, if you're interested. Taylor in again, a shorter, back of the length delivery. Oh, and it's been misfielded by Charlie Knott. Should be disappointed with that at mid-wicket. And they come through for 1. Half a discussion between the 2 batters of whether they wanted 2. Decided against it. Let's just have a look.
Oh, sorry, the only ones to have announced
Yeah,
players
only
signed.
only
of the
team
tier
to
1.
have announced. Yeah. So they've signed 10 players so far. Sorry. Back of the length delivery from Taylor. Hits the top of Stonehouse's bat. So they signed Bryony Smith first to captain the side. That's already been announced. Phoebe Franklin, Ailish Cranstone, Alice Davidson-Richards, Rihanna McDonagh-Gay, Danny Gregory, Alexa Stonehouse, Tilly Courtine-Coleman, Paige Schofield have all been signed by Surrey for next year. Down the leg side, on this occasion, Mary Taylor must have clipped something because it's not called a wide by umpire James Treadwell. So yeah, they've all signed for Surrey for next year, and that's all been announced already.
Okay.
The only team to have done so.
Not mucking about.
No, they're not.
No.
They know who they want. Do Surrey. So those girls will be playing in Surrey colours next year, however that may look for them. Short and wide outside the off stump from Mary Taylor, just inside the wide line, taken cleanly by Rihanna Southby behind the stumps. 46 for 6 are the Stars in response to, or chasing down, the Vipers. 179, so they need a further 134 to win this fixture.
And at the halfway stage, the Vipers were 83 for 2. So Vipers are absolutely all over this game.
Yeah, it's hard to see them losing from this position, but stranger things have probably happened in the world. Lindsay Smith's enjoying some dance moves down in front of us at long off with the children behind her. It's good to see the players sort of engaging with the fans here. They've come down to see them. It's brilliant to see.
relatively, that's a big stand, isn't it? I know this is a fairly small ground as grounds go, but that's quite a big stand, and to be fielding in front of that. That's a nice shot down the ground by Chloe Hill, fielded by Charlie Dean, who's fielding at deep mid-on, which is literally just in front of us. They can't quite see us. There's darkened glass when you look back this way. You feel like they could just look straight in at us, but we can see out all right. It's just that they can't see in as well. 47 for 6, not bowls, and that's hit nicely over mid-wicket by Alexa Stonehouse, and that's 6 runs into the culprit area away to our right, over the picket fence.
Yeah, it's a good shot, wasn't it? Got to the pitch of it, the slog sweep over deep mid-wicket. She's got every piece of that, did Stonehouse.
First time she's really got hold of something.
Yeah, she's maybe just saying to herself, look, if we've got any chance of winning this game, somebody's going to have to play an absolute blinder, and why can't that be me?
53 for 6, she's 8 off 18. Alexa Stonehouse having been pushed up the order. Charlie Knott. Off spinner bowls. Alone Stonehouse works that away on the onside. Misfielded by Georgia Adams, who acknowledges the fact to the bowler. And it'll be a single. 54 for 6. And 128, I think that is. Something like that needed. Yeah, 126. 120 odd, should I say. It's Charlie Knott, flighted, driven by Chloe Hill down the ground again. Dean in the action. Chloe Hill moves on to 4 from 8. 55 for 6. Just having a look then at the Central Sparks Blaze game, because that's the other one that has relevance to this fixture. Central Sparks earlier, 138 for 8 off their 20 overs. Short. Oh, it's up in the air, and Rihanna Southby is going to take a catch. And that is out, and that's the end of Alexa Stonehouse. Trying to pull that away on the leg side. I don't know if it popped up off a glove. Rihanna Southby had to come round in front of the stumps and did really well. 55 for 7.
I don't know if there's some dispute here between Chloe Hill's gone to the umpires to say something.
She's pointing to the helmet.
Yeah, I don't really know. Don't know what. Oh, I think she's saying that it's come off of her helmet as she's got caught, so maybe just to check that. I don't know whether she's just acknowledging to the physio that she's hit it into her helmet, so maybe she needs to be checked. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, it must have ricocheted off the glove or the hat. Look, maybe the shoulder of the bat as she was trying to pull that away. It certainly was not a high enough bounce to go anywhere near the helmet. I think the ricochet came from the actual shot itself.
It's a brilliant catch from Southby, quickly out from behind the stumps, took a good diving, tumbling catch. She's got 12 dismissals now in this competition. She's racing ahead at the top of the victims tally for wicket keepers. With her primary skill, she does it so well.
She does. Best keeper in the country, for me.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. Well, you know, I see a few of them. You see more of them, but there's not many better. Blinkhorn Jones, Maddie Blinkhorn Jones is the new batter. She pushes that delivery from Charlie Knott to mid-wicket. So another successful over for the Vipers. After 11, the Stars in all sorts of disarray here, really. They've been completely outplayed from start to finish. They are 55 for 7. Chasing that certainly unlikely total now of 180 to win. They need another 125. And
Charlie Knott's just sort of shown us why you shouldn't wear a hat when you're bowling. She's come up into I don't know if you noticed as she delivered that ball, her hat's fallen off when she's been bowling. And that is why you always give your hat to the umpire. You don't want to be embarrassed by having to pick it up after you've bowled a delivery. So if you're listening, young children out there, make sure you give your hat to the umpire.
I first noticed that last year, Erin Burns playing for the Sparks.
Quite a few players do it now, lots of overseas. Hayley Matthews does it, Grace Harris does it. Not many, well, I don't think anyone in the England team or in English domestic cricket does it. Adams to continue, then hits Chloe Hill on the pad. She's in front of all three, and the umpire raises his finger, James Treadwell. Adams has got her first now. A little reverse paddle to a really full delivery from Chloe Hill, and she's missed it. And she's been adjudged LBW here, so now 8 down the Stars. It's rapidly turning into an early finish here for the Stars. Of course, it doesn't matter necessarily because all teams, well, both of these teams are through to finals day nonetheless, but They were just sort of maybe, if they've got to play each other in the semi-final, it maybe just be a little bit of a one-up if they can get one over here going into that fixture. But it looks like the Vipers are racing towards victory here. Now, if you're watching on the live picture feed, yeah, it was a full delivery. In front of all three was Chloe Hill. And she just tried to reverse paddle it round the corner and completely missed it. Looks at her bat as she walks off, as if to say, I probably should have used that. But the Vipers, they need 2 more wickets now for victory. 55 for 8, the Stars.
I always think this is a wicket that's it's a risk sweeping and reverse sweeping because there's a little bounce on this wicket, so it's never going over the top.
Adams then, ball in hand to Danny Gregory, the new batter, not known for her batting. Plays that one back to the bowler in her follow through. She could have a proper net here if she wanted to, Danny Gregory. The likelihood of getting the 125 required for victory is slim, but she could get a little bit of batting practice if she wanted to. She's forward in defence again and finds Charlie Dean at extra cover. I think the Vipers will want to get this done and dusted as quickly as possible now and get themselves on the road to Derby at the back end of the week. Driving again is Gregory, back to Adams in her follow through. Hits the top of her bat as Adams drags the length back on that occasion.
Has a high score of 12 not out in this competition.
Maybe she can beat that today. Be a perfect opportunity to do that. Is Gregory. She's driving on the offside and finds point. Gets a single nonetheless. Another one to the Stars total. They are now 56 for 8. 1 delivery remaining of the 12th. Blinkhorn Jones, another new batter. There's 2 to fall in a short space of time, so she's yet to face a delivery. Blinkhorn Jones on debut. She can bat, mind. Seen her bat a few times for Surrey. Very impressive young cricketer. Blinkhorn Jones sweeping, or attempted sweep down the leg side, was missed. Called a wide by umpire James Treadwell. Another one to the total. 57 for 8. Adams in again. Full delivery worked off Blinkhorn Jones's legs. Finds Taylor at short fine, and there's an appeal for a run out, but Gregory is home. Good fielding by the Vipers. 58 for 8. 12 gone here at Hove, and the Stars very much struggling, and probably, well, you'd like to think that the Vipers have got this in the bag. They need a further 122 from the last 48 deliveries, so the chances of them getting that are pretty much none. If there was a win predictor, I think it would probably say 99.9% to the Vipers and maybe a 0.01% chance to the Stars. But the kids here at Hove are still enjoying it, aren't they? They're still singing to all the tunes that are blaring round the ground, dancing in the far distance. You can see them up there at the stands at the far end of the ground, enjoying their day out nonetheless.
It's going to be Freya Davies, formerly of the Stars. Probably on a day like today, I guess she's glad that she's formerly of the Stars. And she's going to bowl to Maddie Blinkhorn Jones. Comes in and bowls wide of off stump, driven, not timed, out to extra cover, fielded by Charlie Dean. Now I'm just having a look at the highest winning margin by the Vipers in terms of runs, and it looks like at the moment they're smashing that one. 89 runs is their highest ever victory by terms of runs. That was against Surrey Stars back in 2019 in the old Kia Super League. It's worked to backward point, fielded by Freya Kemp. Blinkhorn Jones has 1, Gregory has 1, 58 for 8. From here they need 122, so you can see that the Vipers are very much on for their highest winning margin in terms of runs.
I'd be really excited if I was Blinkhorn Jones. I don't know why, I would just be excited to show what I could do here. She can bat, this girl.
I've not seen much of her. She's trying to slog across the line there, and she's out stumped. And that is
As I
another
say that.
wicket. That's 9 wickets down, and that's another victim for Rihanna Southby. And Maddie Blinkhorn Jones goes for just a single, stumped. Huge heaves across the line.
Yeah, another good take. Quick hands behind the stumps. It was a slower ball from Freya Davies. It was a good one. Bowled into the pitch. And Blinkhorn Jones was just as I was bigging her up. Tried to have a big old heave into the leg side. And sharp hands by Southby. Didn't have to move really. Just took the ball back to the stumps. That's her third dismissal of the match. She's got 13 dismissals in this competition so far. I don't know what the highest is in this competition. Maybe I'll have a little look at that. Whilst the new batter, the final batter, batter number 11, Tilly Courtine-Coleman, comes to the crease for the South East Stars, needing a bit of a miracle, really. They're on the verge of defeat here. They need a further 122 runs for victory. I don't think they're going to get them. Let me just see how many. This involves me and my using of my computer to be top notch, which is a bit of a worry for all involved.
So it's going to be Freya Davis to the 16-year-old, and this could very well be wrapped up in this over. 3 balls left of Freya Davis's over, and at 58 for 9.
I'm not sure how I'm going to figure this out, to be honest with you.
I might have to look, but I think it's going to take me a little while.
We'll come back to you on that.
122 the Stars need for victory. So at the moment, it's a win by 121 runs, which absolutely smashes the Vipers' highest ever winning victory. Less, of course, whatever this last wicket partnership offers up. This is round the wicket to the left-hander, bowls and plays and misses outside the off stump. Trying to have a bit of a heave.
That's all that Maddie Blinkhorn-Jones was doing, wasn't she? Really just had to have a bit of a heave into the leg side. They're still enjoying themselves, aren't they?
They are, yeah, they're having a great day. Here's Freya Davis bowls. It's Fuller, and it's an inside edge. I thought that had sneaked through for a minute. Goes down to fine leg. So run off the inside edge of the bat, and the Stars move on to 59 for 9. I think we're both frantically looking at different all sorts of
records
and stuff, but this has been an overwhelming, or will be an overwhelming victory for the Vipers, which will be a timely reminder to everybody of just how good the Vipers really are.
So last year Nick Fulton got the highest amount of dismissals, was only 10, so Southby beating that at the moment.
Stuff that's cut away on the offside by Daniel Gregory, who moves on to 2, fielded by Danny Wyatt, who's now fielding in front of the quiet pavilion on this ground. There is a quiet area, believe me.
On the train.
60 for 9, and we've had 13 overs, potentially 7 to do. I don't think we quite believe we're going to have that many.
We're going to have Sweet Caroline once again. We've had it once today. Why not once more? They're having a great time, aren't they? Charlie Knott then change of bowling at the far end. Charlie Knott started proceedings at this. Would you call this just the media centre end?
C end.
C end.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a big C behind us.
2 blocks away.
And now she's going to have another go from the Cromwell Road end to try and take the last wicket required for Vipers' victory. Charlie Knott, the overseas from Queensland, Australia, has ball in hand. Gregory waits for her then. She's trying to play that into the leg side, beats Charlie Deans to her right, sorry, at mid-wicket. Lindsay Smith out there on the boundary mops up. One more to the total, 61 for 9 the Stars. So this would be, and this is, the highest amount of dismissals in a Charlotte Edwards Cup tournament thus far. So 13 to Rihanna Southby, beats anything in previous years across all 4 years from 2021 until now. She's got the most amount of dismissals and could continue to rise.
For any team, not just Vipers.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
for any team.
Yeah, great stuff.
For any team. And obviously Sarah Bryce close behind at the Blaze. We'll keep our eye on that game, of course. They play the Sparks Edgbaston right now. Tilly Courtine-Coleman beaten by Charlie Knott to her outside edge. 61 for 9 the Stars. Knott round the wicket to Courtine-Coleman. The left-handed Courtine-Coleman cuts, beats Mary Taylor to her left. Danny Wyatt out at deep cover does the fielding. One more 62 the total, 62 for 6. Back to the right-handed Danny Gregory. So a bit of a left-hand, right-hand combination to finish things for the Stars. Driving on the up is Gregory, but gets a thick inside edge and into the ground up to Charlie Knott off her own bowling. No run conceded there. Just a matter of time, really, for the Vipers. Floaty delivery lofted over the infield nicely by Danny Gregory. Actually, one bounce 4 into the gap at deep mid-wicket. That's a lovely shot. That'll give her something to smile about. Something for her teammates to clap. Beautiful shot. One bounce 4 into the pocket at deep mid-wicket in front of the pavilion and in front of the changing rooms and the dugouts of the players. She picks up 4, moves to 7, 66 for 9. Charlie Knott in again, quicker and flatter into the pitch, hits the top of the pads of Danny Gregory. She knows she's out, and that'll be things for the Vipers. They've won this game convincingly here at Hove as Danny Gregory, the last wicket to fall, falls LBW to Charlie Knott, who knew that was out straight away. I think so did Gregory, to be honest with you. They've been bowled up for 66, and the Vipers have won here by what I think is 114 runs, or 113 runs. Here at Hove, and it's been a bit of a decimation of things really by the Vipers. They've completely outplayed the Stars in all 3 aspects of the game. They've caught better than them, they've batted better than them, and I think they've bowled better than them. After that initial over from Freya Davies, it was a little bit wild at the start, but they were back on track quickly and bowled them out quite convincingly here. The only real standout for the Stars, I suppose, was 22 offered by Smith to start with. She started strongly and was stumped brilliantly by Southby. Got 3 victims for her in the match, and wickets were spread. There was 3 for Charlie Dean, 3 for Lindsay Smith, and a couple at the end there for Charlie Knott. 1 apiece for Freya Davies and the captain Georgia Adams. But the Vipers are on their way to finals day with a victory. Almost fell off my chair then, that was quite scary. Are on their way to Derby, and we'll just have to see in what position they finish at a resumption, or a conclusion, sorry, of the Central Sparks Blaze game, which is still going ahead. The Blaze need 30 from 5 overs. So once that game's completed, we'll know the final standings for the finals day on Saturday at Derby.
So just to expand on that, just before we go, so the Vipers would have got a bonus point today, absolutely no doubt about that. So that takes them to 26 points, which is level with the Sparks. Now the Blaze need 31 from just over 5 overs with 8 wickets remaining, so the Blaze are going to win that. So it looks very much, with the enhanced run rate of the Vipers, they are actually going to finish 3rd.
And therefore, if the Blaze win that game regardless, they'll stay at first, so the Stars will stay. Yeah, the Stars will stay in second, so then the semi-final will be a replay of this fixture on Saturday. Yeah,
it will be. Yeah, I think we've worked that out. I think we can safely say that.
And that's what the importance, sorry Kev, just to interrupt you, that's the importance of this game, is that the Vipers have convincingly beaten the Stars, albeit they might have changed a few people and the personnel might have changed, they're not at their strongest necessarily, but the dominance shown by the Vipers here today might be a bit scary for the Stars, say that we've got to be so much better than we were today if we want to beat them on Saturday.
Well, thank you for watching and also for listening. Charlotte Taylor, thank you for your efforts as always. We'll be back with the BBC commentary team on Saturday for finals day. If you're listening on BBC 5 Sports Extra, a little later you can listen to more cricket commentary, because at 3:15 there will be live commentary of the T20 World Cup match between the United States and South Africa. Thank you very much. A convincing win for